Bang, bang, bang.
We heard.
Believe we all live.
We heard. We heard.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. This is 101, RSC 101, something like the freshman year type shit. 101, man.
Yes, Sirski, it's the Almighty.
How are we feeling? What's the good word, sir?
Feeling good, King. I'm feeling good, man. You know, something nice in my cup right now. You
Oh,
know what
you
I
know
mean?
me. I'm on super spin drift action.
I'm in Big Spin, AO. You know what I'm saying?
Tokyo
I'm off,
spin drift over here, man.
I'm off the Keely. You know what I mean? Big Casa. You know what I mean? Feeling nice right now. Can't complain. Good night of wrestling. We got some good guests on the docket tonight. Boogie should be joining us at any point in the night once his son decides to take a nice bow for the evening, go to
to,
sleep.
to cooperate.
Yes, yes, yes. His son's gotta, you know what I mean, understand that his pop's gotta work. You know what I mean? Talk that wrestling. I'm feeling good though. It's a good week. We got All In on Sunday. I'm looking forward to. Finally, I'm excited for All In. You know, it's been a long road to get here, but I'm looking forward to it finally. So it'll be here. And we got some news too. You know, we got our usual segments, prepped and cooked on the docket. We
Hold
got
up. We have a
Champions Watch.
special guest that we shall bring
Okay.
into the thing.
Yeah. She's hurt.
Miss
Hey,
Stephanie
What's
Hardy, how are you?
poppin'?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We well. How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling good and very restful, watching things. And I'm happy to be here with y'all. Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you for
Absolutely.
joining.
Yeah, appreciate you for taking out the time to come hang out with us, kick it with us for a little bit. I usually have a nice, elaborate setup. I'm very cozy tonight, so we're gonna have a nice conversation. What are you looking forward to coming up this week or this weekend? What
Oh
shows?
man. Well, I'm always definitely looking forward to SmackDown because that's my favorite show. That's my favorite wrestling show. I'm a blue brand girl, but I'm definitely looking forward to All In because anytime I get to watch my GOAT, Mercedes Monet, tear the house down with any other female wrestler, I'm happy about that. And I'm also excited about Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May. I'm just really excited about all the great women's action that's going on, but I'm just excited about wrestling period because it's everything is just so hype and just so amazing lately. So I'm just always in a perpetual state of what's going to happen next or what's going to happen here and the possibilities are just endless. So I'm
Love it,
feeling really good.
love it. And I see that boss flag, so I already know what type of time you're on.
Oh,
Yes.
buddy. Oh, man.
Love it. Well, before we get started, Steph, just let the viewers know or subscribers for the on demand once we do bounce this down to Spotify and Apple, where they can find you and what you have going on.
Well, of course. I'm your girl, Stephanie Hardy, host and creator of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, HWP Extra, and co creator of Steph and Cat Talk Wow with Katrina Blake from In Cat We Trust. I'm also a contributing writer for Daily DDT and a color commentator featured on various promotions. So you
Nice.
can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. And you can follow the Hardy Wrestling Podcast on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod and on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast. You can listen to the show everywhere you get your audio shows, and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Hardy Wrestling Podcast.
Love it, love it. And of course, I don't even know if we actually introduced ourselves, but ladies and gentlemen, this is indeed the Ringside Club. This is episode 101. Of course, you can catch everything you need to know about us at therinsideclub.com.
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
past episodes are there, the future episodes, all of the previous 100 episodes are right there. Definitely catch us. Subscribe for the audio, Spotify, Apple Podcast. The video, of course, right there on YouTube, on air, on demand, live every Thursday night, 9:05, right here on your X and your YouTube and your Hot 97 every day. That's my word.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
name is A.O. Baker, of course. Chad, what's the good word?
It's the kid, Younger Diver himself, CHADLAW, live from the Law Layer. And I got an intro survey for us right now, right now. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Should WWE introduce a women's trios championship? I've been campaigning for it every episode of WWE programming that I watch, between Blair Davenport showing up to crickets to aid the women's tag team champions, who are also crickets and tumbleweeds. And then you've also got the new stud line that are going crazy right now, the Pure Fusion Collective. I think, and then you got Naomi, and you've also got Jade and Bianca, the Cocoa Butter Combat Club. I think a women's trios championship, Damage Control. It's a good case for a women's trios championship, if you ask me. So, intro served before we get to the intro. Should the WWE introduce a women's trios championship, or just erase the women's tag team championships and just make them a trios championships?
My quick answer is like I'd like to see it. I just think it's just a matter of focus. If we focus and really put some effort behind the trios, it's the same way if they focus and put some effort and concentration on what they're doing with the tag, it can work. But you named a bunch of trios right there. So as far as what I like to see it, because I think it would be interesting and lead to some dope matchups, absolutely. Steph, what say you?
It's so funny that this is the question. I actually just wrote an article about this, and it just released yesterday
Fire.
about women's mid card titles in WWE. So if you haven't read that, please go read it. I honestly do not feel that there should be a trios titles or a trios division as it stands, because a lot of those women, as amazing as they are as collectives, they are also women that can stand on their own. And as much as I loved the progressiveness of the women's tag titles, I always felt that they kind of hold a lot of women back due to the idea that some of these women that are in these tag teams weren't necessarily like tag teams like in the traditional sense, like a team like the Street Profits that came up together and have that chemistry and that bond. It was always singles stars that they were just put together for a short period of time to create a short-term goal for any type of feud that could end in a short period of time. So I feel that the women's tag titles should possibly be erased, but they do need to add at least two other singles titles to even up the odds with the men, so that we can have, like, say, a women's intercontinental champion or a women's United States champion, because that would create more stars and not have the women scrambling for different things as singles women, and not just having them fight each other with no purpose.
Well said. I
This was
agree.
good. This was
I agree.
good.
Yeah.
I think we should expand on this when we get back from our intro, but I'm going to go ahead and say that, yes, I would love a women's trios division and a women's trios tag team titles, because the factions are blossoming right now, and they're way more exciting than the tag team division. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Let's drop our intro, and y'all see the cups. Y'all see the vibes. It's the almighty RSC, episode 101. You dig?
Yes, sir.
Peace to y'all, it's the Ringside Club Paul. A.O. Blame Boogie, Chad Law. The power's back, triple power bomb. The big dog trio in the stream yard. Go outside, hit the venue guard. It's all love when you see us, Lord. Back to the pad, on air for the pod. Ringside Club, intro to the squad. Let the show start.
I love our intro.
It
I
is
love it
indeed the
too. That's
Ringside Club.
great.
Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. It was funny. It's like we did all of the roundabouts and the introductions, and that's supposed to come after. I'm really just very comfortable today. So whatever we usually do is definitely. I'm not on point, but yeah, we're back. It's the Ringside Club's episode 101. We're here. We left off talking about mid card titles, and Chad, you said you wanted to expand a little bit on your thoughts there.
Yeah, we a couple episodes back we did talk about it because the news had just started breaking through the wire about a women's intercontinental and U.S. title being introduced. So we did a little episode about who we wanted to see as those champions, those respective champions. I see an NXT. I'm a big NXT guy. I don't know if you rock with NXT stuff, but I think that Kalani Jordan as the North American Women's Champion is just a placeholder right now. I'm not really crazy about it. I wasn't crazy about her winning the belt to begin with. I think Jada Parker had that title for the taking. I'm a Jada Parker guy, so I just think she should have just had that belt for the taking, and I think Kalani was just, placeholder for the time being. But I think a mid card title is cool. I'm with you on that. But I think more titles within the women's division would be dope overall. Like I like the tag, a mid card, and a main title. I like all that because if you watch NXT like as frequently as I do, there's so many women wrestlers in that division. Like in NXT, it's just stacked. Like I lose count of some of these names. Like I just can't even keep up to the point where JC Jane and Fallon Henley are now teaming up to compete against the new incoming NXT women that are like, yo, they don't respect the OGs of NXT. So now we're gonna fight against them. So I'm like, yo, there's so much like dope women's talent in the NXT division that like I could see a trios title clearly being developed and it can go around just as much as the women's tag team titles are going around. Like they're going around from all three brands. A trios titles can go around all three brands as well because there's trios in NXT. You know what I'm saying? There's women's trios in NXT as well right now. So I think more more titles in general for the women's division is dope. And as someone that went to the Evolution pay-per-view in 2018, like it was classic pay-per-view,
Lucky.
Nassau Coliseum vibes. I was there live front row. I don't realize what I saw at the time, but like looking back on it now, I'm like, yo, if there was that pay-per-view in 2024, like that pay-per-view would kill shit. Like,
Yeah, I think between Raw, SmackDown, NXT, like that's one of those things that could be, double the length or a 2-day event with the
bro,
amount of
And
talent
then
that they
if you
have
throw
there.
TNA in there, that could
Exactly.
be 2 nights. Like it'd be
that
crazy.
pay-per-view, and like looking back on it, was kind of filler. Like now that I have the knowledge and the energy and the resource that I have now, as opposed to 2018 when I wasn't really as active in the field of wrestling podcasting, I'm like, that show was just like, it was just battle royals and filler matches and Charlotte and Becky. That was it. And you had the return of Trish and Lita. But outside of that, it wasn't the most exciting pay-per-view outside of it's an all women's pay-per-view. But now, in this era, I think that pay-per-view could contend with SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Like that pay-per-view alone could be like, yo, Charlotte Flair versus Roxanne Perez. Like, nah, my mind's blown right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you could have Jade and Bianca versus you could just have Bianca fight someone. Jade could fight someone by herself. Like that pay-per-view alone could be a knockout sellout pay-per-view. And like you said, with TNA inclusion, like I would love to see that. So I just think more women's championships, another women's pay-per-view. I'm all for the women's, entities in WWE. So that's just my take. I know we didn't want to go too crazy on it, but you brought up a great point. I wanted to expound on that outside of our intro survey.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. And I want to see more women's evolution as well, because even though I was not lucky enough to be present for evolution, it was still a very important moment for me,
It
as a
was.
woman, seeing, an all female pay per view. And every time I think about it, I can't help but think about Lillian Garcia and what she said watching the pay per view, and how she said how years ago during the Attitude Era, there were times where she was the only female on the card. So to even get to that point a few years ago where we could have an all-female pay-per-view, it was still a very, beautiful thing to witness. And it made you feel good, like a swelling in your heart as a woman and as a women's wrestling fan to see stuff like that. And if it were to happen now, it would be great. And it would be fantastic. And I do believe that NXT deserves so much credit for being, the foundation of what we see in women's wrestling in WWE now, because, they were having the 15-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute, Iron Women matches before, the main roster caught a hold to it. And that made a whole lot of the stars that we see today. So with NXT continuing to be the foundation of it, if they were to test something out like that there with, say, a trios title or something like that, then that would be great. Their talent is huge, and it just continues to grow with all of the different athletes from so many different, avenues. It's just insane to think about. So yeah, I'm really excited about that, but I do still believe that, there should be just singles titles, because I feel like on the main roster, if you had women's trios titles, you run the risk of having some of the same feuds happening a lot of the time. Because like I said before, there's so many women who are single stars, and here again you run the risk of just putting people together for the sake of just to shake things up, and that might stop the momentum of a single star. So, not that I don't agree with you, I agree with your sentiment behind it, but I do sort of disagree with with the way of it, because you might just wind up having some of the same people or the same factions fighting each other over and over again for those titles. And then the audience might get bored with it. So you just never know.
Yeah, and to that point, it was kind of the same thing over in AEW with the trios, kind of taking some of the energy away from the tag division, because you have teams that were doing their thing in the tag team division, and all of a sudden now they're in the trios, and that makes the entire tag team division kind of suffer for a bit because the focus goes over here. So it's like there's also an issue with just the depth of that roster. Like, in order to have more than just two teams feuding back and forth over these titles, you need to have like way more depth and people that
You
are
know what?
dedicated, that come up naturally as a trio instead of just sticking people together.
You know what's
Um,
crazy? Like I see both y'all sides, but I'm on the opposite of like you can take Dustin Rhodes, who's the trios champions with the Von Erichs, and he's also a tag team champion with Sammy Guevara in Ring of Honor. So like there's so much depth in both rosters that everyone can flourish. Like Leo Rush can be a singles champion while Top Flight are the tag team champions, and all three can come together and be a trios champion.
No, I don't disagree there, but it just goes back to before we hit the intro. My main answer was it has to be this focus. Sometimes there's a lack of focus and a lack of discipline as far as, all right, this is what we're doing and we're going to stick to it. You can have a lot of intermingling between divisions. Absolutely. Like if you have, for example, Trinity, Bianca, and Jade. We've seen Jade and Bianca as tag. We've seen Trinity come to their aid. That would be a really dope trios champ. We've seen Bianca as the world champ. There's no reason why those three divisions can't be run by those three women at the same time. It's just focus. You actually have to do it and kind of thread that needle a little bit to make everything make sense instead of just doing stuff. A
Steph,
lot of it is momentum and excitement.
I'm glad you're here because this is also a pseudo nostalgia pod at times. So, like, I've been going down memory lane. How did you, as a lady, feel watching the Cat be the WWF Women's Champion at one point?
See, that was before I had gotten fully into it, because I got into it at the age of 4. So there's still a lot of stuff that I had missed. But looking back on it, now it's just kind of like, well, I never really heard a lot about her in-ring ability, in terms of
It,
that from
it was
people.
Pillow
all lack
fights,
thereof. Yeah.
lingerie matches, pillow fights. As a matter of fact, at the 2004 Taboo Tuesday that I actually ordered on pay-per-view, I can't believe I ordered that, there was a decide which match do all of the women get to compete in between Jazz, Stacy Keibler, Trish Stratus, Lita, Victoria, a schoolgirls match, a lingerie match, like, and that was 2004 for the women's championship. Like that ain't, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? That was only but 20 something. That was 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like, I'm just curious, like you as a lady, like watching that, like me as a guy looking back on, I'm like, wow, that's actually kind of hot. Like I didn't mind watching that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, wow, like watching a lingerie match between some of the most beautiful women in the WWE at the time was the norm. You know what I'm saying? We were used to that, which in hindsight, right to censor was so on point. Like Stevie Richards and the gang was like, yo, cover this up. This is crazy. How can you have this happening? Like, I didn't understand it, but like now I'm like, I get where they were coming from. I understand right to censor. So like you as a lady, how did you perceive it or watching that era of wrestling where there really wasn't much wrestling? It was just gimmicks, lingerie, pillow fights, bra and panties. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you
Yeah.
perceive it?
Yeah, growing up and seeing that even during the ruthless aggression era, it was always frustrating for me as a girl, because I was always interested in seeing the women, because of course I'm a woman, so I see that representation no matter what. But of course, I'm growing up, I don't necessarily know. I see these women fighting in bras or whatever, because I still don't know what the purpose of lingerie is at this point, because I'm a kid. But at the same time, it was still very weird to see all these men going on like, "Ooh, this is hot," and whistling and everything else. And there was always a part of me that wondered, like, when are these women gonna fight for real, for real?
Right.
Like,
Like, this is wrestling.
Yeah, like I
It's
always
wrestling.
had that in the back of my mind. Like, when are they gonna let these women fight for real, for real? And they would let it happen from time to time, but it wasn't really their focus. It was always like the women were seen as just eye candy a lot of the time. And I would always just hope for that in the back of my mind. And even when they would fight, it was always like for shorter periods of time, and that would disappoint me too. So I felt kind of left out in that regard. So watching WWE sort of come into it, because you can argue about other promotions who let their women wrestle, before they caught on to the wave. Seeing WWE come into it was very refreshing for me, growing up as a younger adult and as an adult now. It's wonderful because we were kind of in the dark, and for a second it was just always all about, the men, and oh well, they're so hot and they're just this, and I would da 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 her, and it's just like, okay, what about me?
Yeah,
I
right.
was
What
very
about how
curious.
I'm feeling?
Uh,
Like, it was
I've
weird.
just been going down memory lane, so I just rewatched SummerSlam 2000. So I just saw the Cat fight Terry Reynolds in a brawn panty stink face match. So like I was just really, yeah, it was,
that's insanity.
yo, the shit that they were doing in that era. Like there's no way that shit's flying like nowadays. Like just not
Mm-mm.
flying. Like Netflix WWE. We might get a brawn panties return like on some like nostalgia. It's
Nah,
Netflix.
I don't.
I
I
We
hope
don't.
they
I doubt
don't.
it. Yeah, I
we
doubt
could
it.
see
I
some
doubt they
crazy
do that.
shit, but like the shit they were doing on pay per view, like I was like, yo, a bra and panties stink face match where the objective is to just strip your opponent to her bra and panties and put your ass in her face. Like
Nah,
that
but I
was
think
it.
like
I was like,
the
this is
Mm-mm.
insane.
I just think like the taste level is just not there anymore. It is no way that they can get away with doing that. Nor should they even want to do anything like that. Like the taste level is completely different.
Bra and panties match nowadays just ain't flying.
No, definitely not.
Absolutely not.
Because
Absolutely not.
like, we're used to seeing these women put on classics on the same level as the men do. And you also have people in leadership who value women a lot more than that.
Yeah,
And also you have to think about how back in the day, wrestling fans did not have a tool to speak out on things
I
whenever
know.
it bothered them.
Yeah.
Whereas now we have social media, and the minute we're all collectively watching something live and using that hashtag, we are letting our voices be heard. So whether, WWE, when they make the move to Netflix, when Raw goes to Netflix, I believe as a company, they would stand to not do anything like that, because that would just take them back to the dark ages, and we're not going back.
same
We're not
defense.
going back.
I get it. I totally get it. That was a crazy time period. Like looking back on some of the stuff that he was pulling, like you look at that shit, like the shit with Sable, the feud with Stephanie, like a lot of the stuff that he was doing, I was just like, this guy was really fucking sick, yo. Like it was a blanket for all of the weird shit I felt like that was happening behind the scenes. Like Sable is pulling off certain moves with A Train because it's gonna get the attention of Vince McMahon and pulling favors, and I was just like, this is really strange. Like looking back at it, it was really weird. And like I said, I've just been going down nostalgia. That sometimes might veer off into a nostalgia pod because of how much old school stuff like we intake. But yeah, I just wanted to have that question, throw that topic out there. You know, we've got the Queen Stephanie Hardy here right now, so it's only right we just dive into some quality lady wrestling talk. You know what I mean? So we
Hmm.
here now. We got a couple of news on the docket as well. AR, if you want to do this week in wrestling, if you want to just shoot to the news real quick.
Now let's go straight to the news. I mean, the big thing on the across everybody's timeline today that I happened to see was Ricochet's heading over to AEW.
Prince Puma, he's coming
Now, like,
over.
I'm on the record of saying, like, to me, I don't really get too excited about this person jumping from this federation to the next. I'm more like, I think the novelty of the jump, I think we've seen it already, and now
Yeah.
I've kind of gotten desensitized a bit. However, there's a lot of matchups there. Obviously, the Will Ospreay one is one that jumps off of the page immediately because
It's
of
where
the
the best
history.
wrestle, man. Come on.
Yeah, but like there's a lot of interesting matchups there. But Steph, like I'm curious, when you saw, assuming you did see the news of Ricochet going to AEW, what crossed your mind, and are you looking forward to him?
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. It did. make me just a tad bit sad when when news got out that he was leaving WWE, because I always loved him even during his NXT run, and even watching him get the Intercontinental title that time. It was
U.S.
really
title.
cool.
He's been holding it
Yeah,
down.
US title, like he really did a
Ricochet.
good job. And he has like amazing viral moments. Like one of my other favorite matches was when he fought Carmelo Hayes at Worlds Collide. So he always had a good level of competition there. But it just seemed like there was always sort of like a stop and start with him. So, and I'm also sort of disappointed because we can't get any more content with him and Samantha on screen, because I love those two as a couple. But I'm just glad that he's going somewhere where he's happy, first of all. And number two, the amount of matches that we're going to get in AEW with him, not even him possibly getting in Will Ospreay's face, but you have a lot of newer people who sort of have that same arsenal that he does, that he could fight with too, like Action Andretti and so many other people who, utilize high flying, like Top Flight and so many others. So I'm excited for what we're going to get from him. I do wonder what his name is going to be. If it's just going to be Ricochet or if it's going to be something else, so I can just know. But other than that, I think it's going to be really great. I feel like he might pop up and surprise us this weekend, but we'll just save that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know what's kind of crazy to me about Ricochet is, I top of my head I don't know how old he is, but there's so many people now that probably came up watching him, as he was coming up through the indies and then finally making it to WWE, that they're like his offspring now. Like these are people that were directly influenced by Ricochet. I'm sure Top Flight can name a bunch of Ricochet matches or moments. So to see like almost a pioneer of whatever style you want to call that, that matchup is going to be kind of cool.
Ricochet
Leo,
versus Hologram.
Leo,
We're gonna have the IWC melting in about 3 weeks.
Leo
I'm
Rush
sure.
is over there. Yeah, Leo
Yes.
Rush has been around. That'd be really dope. Pac is right there. I don't know how many times they've crossed paths, but Pac is another like OG and originator of so many different moves and move sets. So there's a lot of the young guys, a lot of the people that are in the same generation, just about as Ricochet. So we'll see. I'm always like hesitant. Let me just see once you get there, what's the rollout? What does this look like? Let me, see a little bit. And I don't also want to rush to judgment. That first month, 2 months, where it's like, oh, it's failing because he doesn't have the fucking world title. Like, let's pump the brakes. Let's see how this goes. It's a multi-year deal. It's not going to be a failure in month 2.
I do think him versus Copeland is going to be dope. Him versus Christian Cage is going to be dope. He's going to get trapped in the Jericho Vortex in about 6 months, so that'll be pretty cool. You're going to see him in the C2. I think the C2 this year is going to be pretty interesting. I think Ricochet should be in the C2. Like, he's going to have bangers. It's a lot of opportunity. So I'm definitely excited for what's to come with Ricochet joining All Elite Wrestling. Like AO said, I'm not going to, like the rest of our peers would be like, oh, he's on Collision and Rampage every week. Like, this is all terrible. Why did he leave WWE? Like, I'm not going to throw that tag on there because he's still fresh. And honestly, this is going to be more exciting than watching him just kind of flounder around Raw. Like, so this should be more invigorating and more refreshing to watch this new reinvigorated Prince Puma or Ricochet, however he's going to go by, just to see the matchups, everything that he's going to do. Him versus Okada. I mean, I don't want to throw the tagline dream matches, but like that'll be pretty fun. Like that should be that right there is a Collision main event that like, all right, I'll tune in for that one. Like if that's on Dynamite at 9:00, like, all right, I'm gonna stick around for that one. Like I'm gonna check out Ricochet versus interchangeable name that you've never seen Ricochet fight before. Like that's gonna be fun. Like how Copeland had it when he came over. And like I was just like, oh my God, Adam Copeland versus everybody on that whole roster. Like I'm excited. Like this is that part of the jump that I'm excited about. Like, all right, fresh matchups. Nobody that I've seen him have best of 5 series with on episodes of Raw every single week. Like this is gonna be dope. Nice and invigorating change of pace for Ricochet. So I'm with it. I'm excited for that. We definitely touched base on the Ricochet move and something else that also happened. Ricky Starks was confirmed to still be under contract with AEW. So to the IWC tapped into us and they didn't catch it Ricky Starks ain't going nowhere. He's still going to be in AEW for quite some time. He ain't going to NXT just yet. As much as I would love to see him go to NXT, he ain't going. So I don't know what's going to happen with Ricky Starks. I think he's going to come back whenever he comes back and just kind of have that like coasting run. You know, like when a wrestler is just like, yo, I'm ready to get up out of here. So like, I'm gonna just show up, do my appearances, get paid, and like
Senioritis.
Yeah. I think
Oh
Ricky Starks.
Jesus!
Yeah, when he comes back,
I know what
think Ricky
that's
Starks
like.
just has senioritis.
Senioritis. Wow.
Senioritis.
Yeah, good one, Ayo. I think Ricky Starks, when he does return to TV, is just gonna have senioritis. Like it's gonna be the running joke online is like, yo, Ricky Starks looks like he's ready to get up out of there, like any day now. So Ricky Starks is gonna be staying around much longer. I think he's still got time, you know what I'm saying, on his contract. What say y'all still rocking with Ricky Starks in AEW, or y'all ready for him to get up out of here?
Again, it's in the same bag as I don't get excited over who's jumping. I don't get excited over speculating who's leaving and who's going anywhere. Wherever you are, make it work. If it's not working, then I hope you figure whatever you need to figure out. That's my opinion on the Ricky Starks. He hasn't been on TV for a while. That's not my business.
I did read someone online did say that according to a source from the locker room that they are just showing up and just saying pay me. Like they're not really asking questions. They're just like, yo, I'm just getting paid. Like,
hey, again, I'm not back there. I ain't had that conversation. I don't know.
yeah.
All I know is if on 8 to 10 on Wednesday or 8 to 10 on Saturday he's not on TV, then he's not on TV.
They're
If
just
he's
happy to be getting paid. That's it.
But again, like if he's unhappy, I hope he figures that out. If he goes to NXT, SmackDown, Raw, I hope that it works. Other than that, like I remember, like I was a Ricky Starks fan, going back to the NWA on YouTube days when they did Power with 3-4 R's or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That was the first time that I heard. That was the first time that I heard of Ricky Starks and saw him, and I thought he was really dope. And he's had some really dope moments in AEW. He's a talented guy, so work it out.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to Ricky Starks and AEW, if he's choosing to stay, then of course that's his decision. But I wouldn't necessarily just think that he'll just go there, and make an appearance and just, coast or whatever. A part of me would just want him to sort of blaze through AEW and prove why, he's the absolute one. Because from the first time I saw him wrestle, I can't even remember who he wrestled, but it was a Wednesday night, and I saw him, just hitting all his moves, and he just looked so crisp and clean. And I was just like, why isn't this guy, at the top of the heat for running for the AEW World Title?
Vortex.
Like it was just the craziest thing. Like he was just really cool for me, and then he's also really charismatic. So I would want him to just get back into the fold of things and try again, because I feel like us as people, you don't want to be on the clock, I guess, or at least for me, let me just say, I wouldn't want to just be on the clock and not being used to my best potential.
Right.
And he's someone who deserves to be used to his best potential. So hopefully if he's put back on AEW television again, he'll be doing what he loves and just being passionate about that, and not just coming and just collecting a check, because that's not, that doesn't sound fulfilling.
There's a few people that
Especially-
they said are happy collecting a check in AEW, whether they're being used or not. So like there is that side of the fence. So like I feel you on that.
Could be, but there's also the reality of like as physical a business as this is, you just sitting around collecting a check is not going to help you when you're kind of getting to the point where it's not safe to take these bumps anymore, take these risks. Like this isn't a desk job. It's not a
Fair.
a mind, mental intelligence job only. It's a physical job first. So, he's only getting older. He's not getting younger, whether he's on the shelf or not.
That's a good point, Ayo.
At some
That is
point,
a
you
very
run the risk of just being injury prone, So anyway, Steph, we have a AEW All In to predict, but before we do that, we have a couple of more guests that I see that are in the studio. So let me bring them from Under the Mat Radio. Let me bring them up here, and we'll have a nice little round robin and predict these here 45 AEW All In matches.
Hello.
Hello, what is going on? It's the Salty 113. Get your ass whipped. How y'all guys doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
That's a hell of
Welcome,
a way
man.
to jump on. I like the
I'm
Power
doing
Ranger
fine.
background too. A piece of
Thank
Zordon.
you. And Ninja Turtles up in here.
Hey.
There you go.
Welcome in, man. Glad y'all could finally join us. It's been a couple of episodes coming, but you know what I'm saying. We finally on deck. You know what I mean. Got you guys in the ringside club, ringside with us.
Yes, sir. Saltine, before we chop it up about All In, just let everybody know about Under the Mat Radio and anything else you have going on.
All right, on the Mat Radio, you can follow us on Twitter at tech_UTMR. That's our main Twitter page. What we have coming up is an interview with Raj Giri. We just had him yesterday,
Dope.
so we recorded it, so we doing the old school way. We try and update our stuff and everything. So it's a doozy, I tell you about that. We got so much stuff coming up. We going to plan it out. We're gonna let y'all know sooner. Trust and believe. We just interviewed Scott Hudson, which is on our Under the Mat Radio YouTube page.
Nice.
So please check it out. And hey, we're gonna announce everything that's coming out on our Twitter page.
Shout to the Black content creators. Much love to y'all. You know what I'm saying. Tech, what's going on, my
Now,
G?
What's up, sir?
What's going on, guys? Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
We're here, live.
We
Under the
here.
Mat Radio with Ringside Club to the Queen, Stephanie,
Hey.
to the CL, to the AO.
Welcome.
Look, congratulations, 101 episodes.
Thank you.
This is
Appreciate you.
exclusive. I got this blurred for a reason. This is exclusive Kentucky bourbon called Floats Boats. You can only get it from Kentucky. And I never cracked this bottle until today.
Thank you.
To you guys, 101 episodes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers
to MC Almighty.
We've been doing professional radio and broadcasting for 13 years, so you can do the math for how many episodes we've done.
That's a lot.
52 weeks plus interviews and extra shows. But you guys, it's easy to start, but it's hard to continue.
You know, that's what a lot of people like remind us as we, bring them onto the show. We just, communicate in general. They're like, yo, you could do episode 10 and fall off and you ain't going to be here for episode 25. So like the fact that y'all at 101, like salute to y'all. So like, we are definitely, we taking in that gratitude. We much appreciative of all the love and support. It's just consistency. That's all. You know what I'm saying? We love this shit. We love the culture. We here for it. We support it. We do this every Thursday night, 9:05 live, pay-per-view, no pay-per-view, whether it's nostalgia episodes, content episodes, like you got the signature move show with AO, like the Ringside Club is, we cooking, man. We got a lot of stuff in motion. So thank y'all again for joining.
To that point, I probably bring it up every 10 or so episodes, but the third member of the Ringside Club, Blaine Boogie, he often says, he's known for this. If you don't have at least 1, 2, 3 failed podcasts, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
We've done some things and then it didn't work out, but the cool thing about this is it's still moving forward. So appreciate the love, appreciate y'all for hanging out, man.
And I'll say this too, I'm not sure about the timing, but I was trained broadcaster, so I'm used to going 4, 5, 6 hours on my own with guests and
radio background. We right
background.
Radio
you right there. You already know how it is. See that red light. Oh God, cut down, outro, intro.
Know
how the commercials, but I see this is that, for our culture and nothing against any of our, Caucasian, white, Hispanic, Latino, African, Dominican, any type, because we have fans worldwide. You guys have people that listen to it. So I just know for our culture, for us being African Americans or black or whatever you want to call it, because everybody's sensitive with names now. Don't call me black, call me African American. I'll shut your mouth.
Colored.
Whatever you want to say, colored. You want to be called seasoned back in the day, like whatever it is, our culture, how it is for us to represent professional wrestling, which is of course we know was white dominated. I started 13 years ago. It was only us. That was it. And my man Chris Featherstone, Pancakes and Power Slams. That was it. Everybody, it was no podcasting. It was Jericho, Austin, Jim Ross, me, Chris Featherstone, China with his podcast. That was it. Then 2 years later, it was a boom. Then everybody got podcasts. And shout out to the head I see right here. Is that a microphone head or somebody sticking their head up over there, AO? I see something popping up in the corner. On your left, my right. And shout out to AO. AO got the keyboard stand in the back. I sleep that. I play bass. So my man CO got the flower pants and Seymour T in the background.
Man, I'm over here, man.
Already. So it's always good. I think y'all, it's an honor for us to be on here. For you guys to follow us We're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna try not to cuss much. I'm not really cussing, but
It's all good, man. Go
we got the
crazy.
queen on here. I'm old school, man. You know, I was raised
Respect, respect.
unless
Where we at,
unless
chat?
unless Queen
So
Stephanie throw a cuss word, then I could say something. You know.
before we get into our all-in predictions, we got the gang here. We're gonna do our segments that we run through with the RSC. We'll start with our Champions Watch. This is our Champions Watch segment of the week. We each pick a champion that we've been watching over the course of the week. We talk about what we like about them, their trajectory for the week, and what's to come. Real simple. My champion of the week, the NXT World Heavyweight Champion, Ethan Page. A breath of fresh air for the NXT main event scene, which has been kind of dead as of recently. I'm really excited. The fact the NXT main event scene finally is going to flourish with Joe Henry in the picture. Pete Dunne is back. Trick Williams is finally getting focused. Wesley's turned heel. Ethan Page has got a variety of challengers. I won't even go into depth about like Ethan Page, Joe Henry feuding, which is going to bring Josh Alexander over across the, the line and bring him to NXT. I'm liking Ethan Page as a heavyweight champion because he just has that cocky heel persona that just works. He can talk, he can wrestle. He just has the look and the aura right now that backs it up when it comes to somebody that's credible in the main event scene of NXT. They desperately needed it. I was very unsure when Trick won the belt. Carmelo left, Ilya left, who was going to take over the circuit. And it's dope to see that now there's a great void of someone who could potentially hold the belt for like the next 6-7 months or so. Like, he could have that title for a while. So what say y'all? Y'all agree, disagree? How y'all feel about Ethan Page, the NXT heavyweight champion?
I love him.
They should. They should give him a chance because AEW, he really didn't get a chance and everything. He was on TV, but he kept getting storyline that was switch on and switch off. But in NXT, they give him a chance to shine. So a lot of stuff we haven't seen AEW, man, NXT, he's killing it. He's doing really well.
Salute, salute. Hey yo, who's your champion of the week? Who you got?
Me?
My champion of the week is
Yeah,
is probably going to be Swerve. I think he loses the title this weekend, but I think
Swan Song.
but I think this title reign was probably successful because I think this really, how you have the wrestler makes the belt or the belt makes the wrestler. I think they leveled Swerve up to a world champion, legitimate world champ, while he had the belt. So when he loses the title, whether it be this weekend or whenever he actually does finally drop the title, I don't see him dropping back down at all ever for the remainder of his career, or at least while he's in the prime of his athleticism. He's a legitimate main eventer now. He solidified that for me with the feud and the back and forth with Osprey, and now going back and forth with, in many people's books, one of the best ever, if not the best ever, at least of this generation, this weekend, Bryan Danielson. I expect an amazing match, but Swerve solidified himself. So not necessarily just because of this past week, but I think this title reign did a lot for Swerve. Where usually, like with AEW, since the beginning of the company, there have been former world champions that have won that title. So it was all about adding to the prestige of the AEW World Championship because it was new. It's been around 5 years now, and we have fresh blood. Swerve as a first-time world champion. I think the only other world title he's had was in MLW. So
I remember, I was there.
right, so he's leveled up. I think he's now, again, in this reign, leveled up to a legitimate, bona fide main eventer. So, champ of the week, successful title reign, Swerve Strickland.
Steph, who you got?
Well, my champion is the TBS champion and the New Japan Strong Women's
Why do I have
champion,
a feeling that?
Mercedes Moné.
I have a feeling.
Yeah, so she's my champion due to the fact that I just enjoyed her promo that she had with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who she will be defending the title against at All In this weekend. Their interaction was literally like a meeting of the generations for me, because today is actually the 9th anniversary of Mercedes' match as Sasha Banks with Bayley at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And that match is highly regarded and highly, touted as the greatest women's match of all time. So the idea that was 9 years ago, and then 9 years later, Mercedes is still here, defending one title while she's carrying two, against someone who looked up to her at one point in time, but wants to sort of stamp her claim as like the female face of AEW, which is really insane for me. And it's insane for me on a level of thinking that Mercedes at one point was trying to prove herself, and now her resume has been built up to the point to where now she is still inspiring other women that's on the come up, who we have seen on AEW or who we have seen on Ring of Honor in the past few months, and it's just amazing to see her still in her prime to a degree while others are coming right behind her. And it's just really amazing, and she'll just always be my greatest of all time. So that's my champion. And also, to your point, CEO, about Ethan Page, I do not like him as champion. I don't.
You don't like Ethan Page as champion. So if you don't like Ethan Page as the main heel champion, who would you have as the main heel champion or the main champion of NXT at the moment?
I would have preferred if they had kept it on Trick Williams.
I think he kind of fell his course, like as the babyface champion. He was going to run out of challengers, and that momentum, I think, where he's at right now is great to see him have to climb back up to get there, because he doesn't really need the belt. He's so over, and he is the top dog of NXT, where it's like he doesn't even need the belt. Actually, like I thought it was bad that he lost the belt, but now I'm like, he don't even really need the title. Like he's actually just fine.
Yeah, and not to interrupt you, because like you do have a good point that he doesn't necessarily need the title because his personality is so over. But for me, watching, and yeah, you could argue that he still looks strong with the way that he lost it. It was like he wasn't pinned. Ethan Page fell down. He fell into it, literally. But at the same time, I feel like keeping that title on Trick Williams would have solidified him more as a champion, and it would have given us the ability to see how he would adapt his abilities to any other person that would want to step to him and challenge him. Like, I feel like there was some creativity that was lost in not keeping the title on someone like him, who is still trying to prove himself to a degree, because, he is young in comparison to a Carmelo Hayes or to a Ilya, who had a wrestling career before they got to NXT. So I feel like keeping the title on him would have been a whole lot better for me than just giving it to an Ethan Page who was in AEW and had a career. And yeah, he didn't necessarily they didn't necessarily know what to do with him per se, I guess. But I'm almost afraid that NXT is going to fall into this situation where they're going to have these people come in who come with all of this amazing, resume
Starks, Pentagon,
and basically, just have them win
the world title,
take over and and win the titles when you have all these people in NXT who have not had a chance, to win the title or carry the title.
To that point, that main event scene, like I said, is just not it. It's just not like Pentagon and Ricky Starks could come in tomorrow and win the world title and be like, yeah, this division is credible now. Like,
yeah, and you can say the same thing for the women's, division in NXT too, because they keep talking about Julia, people keep talking about Stephanie and Vacour, and it's just like, why are we waiting for these two to get their stuff together and then come when you have all these other women in NXT who are just waiting for their opportunity? It's like they're skipping the line.
Because realistically, as many women are in NXT, some of their matches are unbearable. Let's be real. Some of their matches, you just don't want to sit through those matches. Like,
Is it any worse?
Ain't it?
Or their matches any worse than AEW's women matches?
I mean, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that bad boy. But.
And it's like you could argue, yeah, their matches aren't necessarily the best ones or like the classics are all the time. But here again, NXT is a TV show, yes, but it's also still developmental. So you can't necessarily hold them to the same regard as you would a person that has 5 or like 10 plus years in the game. So
I'm merging that developmental title now with it's developmental for people that haven't been seen on national television to a major extent that the WWE machine is. Like, yes, it's developmental for new characters, but it's also developmental for people that have never been in that big of a machine before. Like, I kind of merge those two together now. Like, I can't just say, they're new people who have never wrestled before. Like, Javon Evans, he's got wrestling skills. Like, he's been active, but he's just never been on a major screen before, and it shows in his wrestling. He can go, but he's never been featured on a main television program before.
It's developmental for the WWE style. That's what NXT is, because a lot of people coming through
Yes.
weren't necessarily, with baseball, you got A, double A, triple A. They get acclimated to the actual game, to the major leagues. NXT is, okay, we got people coming in, Samoa Joe. All these other people coming in. They're not rookies, but it's with development you into our world and our style. That's what
Yes.
NXT is. It's a developmental to the WWE way of things. Because doing it in MLW, RH, TNA, Impact, Anthem, whatever you want to call them, even now AEW, is cool, but this is the way we do things. So we're priming you for the big leagues of WWE for what we do.
I agree. I have to feel that. That's kind of how I feel about it. So good points, Steph. Very, very good points.
Good point stuff.
Tech, who you guys your champion of the week?
I'm gonna say Gunther,
The world champ.
world champ, because he's the total opposite of the air quote WWE way. If this was the 80s and the mid 80s and mid South and Continental and the NWA, he would be amazing. He would be, that's what you looked at. Now he's so much of an old school champ. He's now the champ. And now he gets to prove himself because he's not flashy. He doesn't wear any flashy clothes. He doesn't have any catchphrases. He's just who he is. He's gonna beat your ass. He's gonna look at you. He got that great Jaws theme song. And the fact that he did that promo with Orton on Raw was amazing. Them going back and forth. I forgot the name he called them, which was hilarious. So it's good.
I could do without part of stuff. I could do without the getting personal stuff. I think that stuff is a little bit cheesy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like wrestling, the wrestling aspect of this feud is going to be really.
And I love that because it's name any of y'all name the last time we've had a champion in WWE world that was the complete opposite. I mean, we could say Foley, one time within the past 10, 15 years around Captain 4Kid Cena era, right? When was the last time we had a champion that was complete opposite to what WWE style was? It's been a
Bryan
while.
Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, Daniel Bryan.
Probably him. I think like most recently, it's not a world champ. It would be
Jinder Mahal.
No, not it'd be Sammy as a mid.
Sammy, right? Sammy as a mid caller, right? But as a world champ,
yeah, I agree.
So as a world champ, and good point, AO. We had Sammy as IC, which is the complete opposite. But this is the first time we had in a good 10, 15 years, almost even 20. If you look at the old OVW, you had Cena, Orton, Brock, Batista. That's 20-something years ago. As far as like main like world champions of both.
JBL wouldn't count?
No, JBL was old school, man. He was like new generation. Justin Hart Bradshaw with Zeb and Dutch. I'm talking about like the past 20 years, like the OVW class.
Oh.
Yeah, Orton, Batista, Brock, and Cena.
I'm a wrestling god guy, so like, you know what I mean? If I could throw JBL.
No, I love Jibble. I love Jibble.
I throw a John Bradshaw Layfield reference in there.
Yeah, I love
JBL references.
No, I love Jibble. Don't get me wrong. But as far as the OVW class, the past 20 plus years, WWE's been carried by Captain 4Kid Cena, Orton, Brock, and Batista. So you had their own machine, them four. Now you got Gunther, which is totally against the mold, a total 180 against what WWE has always preached: flashy catchphrases, same tights, same boots, same skin tan, same muscles, same triceps, same stance, same taunts.
Creative wrestler, basically.
Creative wrestler, right? And now Gunther is that, and now we get to see it, and that's why he's the wrestler of the week for me. And him feuding with Orton, and he's just who he is. He's just gonna beat your ass. 1980s Dick, late 70s, early 80s, Dick Murdoch, Dusty Rhodes,
Bruno Sammartino,
Ivan Koloff, Crusher Khrushchev, the UWF Bill Watts, this type of old school villain, WCCW, I even say Devastation. I'm old school, Devastation Incorporated, Tajo Khan.
Yeah, my man took it back.
Yeah, I take that's how he is. He's just the old school villain that's going to beat you. He's the old school late 80s cartoon villain. Yeah, see, the old villain that they ain't say nothing, just beat your ass. That's how he is. So that's why he's my
champion of the week. There you go. Salty, who you got? Who your champion of the week?
Now it's me. All right, I'll say Braun Breaker, the IC champion. Guy's intense. He's ready to go. You see his promo that came on Monday. I was like, oh, this is well.
He took Gene
This is,
Snitsky's whole tagline. I was crazy.
yeah,
It wasn't his fault.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. It ain't my fault. It was crazy. I was like, all right,
It
like
was
you gonna have
great.
Master P come out and you know what I mean, rock his next theme
We,
song.
we don't want that. We
Right.
do not want
Oh,
that. We do not need to see.
Now we
Real
ain't gonna do
now.
no Limit Soldiers with Braun Breaker. All right, man.
So you want to see Big Swole with untitled overalls? Do we really want to see that?
You know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he chased Ricochet out to AEW possibly on this what
Nah,
Sunday,
yo.
coming Sunday,
F-
and
5
he
years from now, Ricochet gonna come back to WWE and pick that feud up when Braun Breaker's the World Heavyweight Champion and be like, "Yo, remember when you drove me out the company? I'm back.
yeah, that could work. That
I'm
could work.
back."
That could
You know
work.
what I'm saying?
And he makes Sami Zayn go home. So it's like that's the guy you want to look at and see
That was
what's
a
next.
funny cameo, by the way. Seeing Sammy drag the bag out with the sad face. I was like, "This is
Yeah.
good camera work right here." That was
Yeah,
clever.
yeah.
I do got to
Yeah.
add this. Is this me? Can we please get him another finishing move? I'm tired of
with you.
everybody using the damn spear. It's getting like everybody using the super kick, everybody using the switchblade. The spear is done to death. Leave it alone. Edge had the running hug.
You know what?
Reigns got it. He could do the Frankensteiner, do the Steiner recliner, you could do the bulldog, something. Why does he have to do a spear?
He can get away with it though. He looks like a believable guy who can give a spear. Jay Uso needs to give the spear.
It's done
He
too
should
many
not be doing
times.
the spear.
Jimmy and Jay Uso is basically mirror match from Mortal Kombat. They do the same moves, same stance, same super kick, same shoes, same pants.
They do.
They already doing the spear. Reigns already known for the spear. Ayo, laugh, you don't tell the truth. Now you got
Braun's spear looks more vicious than anyone's spear in the WWE right now. It looks even more
It
serious.
does.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Well,
it did, but it's the same. How many times we did it? Big Show did a spear. Edge had the running hug. Christian did a spear. You
The
can go
running
down to
hug.
my man Moose. Moose do
Goldberg
a
killed
spear.
people again.
Moose's spear is fire though. Moose got the flip spear, so his
Yeah,
shit
that Moose do the flip.
it's a little innovative. It's a
He
little
did the
innovative.
flip and his bottom lip hangs and drools. So he got a little added feature. That's my man Moose. I love Moose. My friends.
His shit a little innovative.
Yeah, but all in that, come on, man. Like I get he's a football player. I mean, he could do like a Kevin Green shoulder tackle.
He could do the pounce. Nobody does the Monty
Yeah.
Brown pounce anymore. Like
Right,
nobody
right.
does that move at all.
But
And
I mean, can't nobody do it like Monty Brown though.
I know,
But he
nobody-
can do it though. He's fast and he keep
he
doing the stats like, oh, he's doing like 20 miles per hour and decimal limits and all of this stuff.
him
can
running
beat
the
out.
ropes to hit the
Yeah.
pounce,
This
that
dude,
looks believable. And
Stop.
that looks like it'll hurt.
stop doing the spear. Just stop. Stop doing that
Which-
Habiba kick in the corner.
Starting that campaign.
Yes.
Stop doing the spear. Bro, I'm
Stop
with you.
spear, stop.
Leave it
Stop
alone.
spear, stop. Quiet on the super kicks. Trust me, I would love to see less super kicks in wrestling right now.
Oh, I count it. Oh,
Oh my
I count
gosh.
it. I count it. We count how many super kicks in every AEW and WWE match.
Right.
Yo,
Young Bucks did 20. No, the Usos had 23 and a half. And it's a half because one of them Jay did by herself in one match. And then the Bucks at AEW, this is like early in the year,
because
had
they only
about
wrestled but 3 times.
had 18. But you know, both of their feet count one. So when they do one simultaneously, they count it as one because they're both small.
It's so bad that Ashanti the Adonis is on NXT tuning up the band and hitting a super kick.
Leave it alone. You're not
It's
Michael.
not that bad that like, yo, my man's is literally tuning up the band to hit
Why?
a sweet chin music. I'm like, yo, dog, stop with the super kick. Stop.
Leave
They
it
gotta
alone.
They gotta stop.
You're not gentleman Chris Adams. You're not Shawn Michael. You're not even Ziggler. You're not even Sweet Stan Lane because his super kicks never hit. His kicks was ugly as hell. He hit you in like the shoulder, elbow, and
Oh,
the
God.
hit you in the earlobe.
Yeah,
But
like-
I feel weird about that though, because it's just, I think from my perspective, I just feel like almost every move in wrestling to a degree is borrowed. So for Braun Breaker to give up the spear that already looks intense as he is because he's so fast and because he's so athletic, like I understand what you're saying about the spear sort of being played out or whatnot, but at the same time, it feels like if he were to lose that, it would just be kind of awkward. But I mean,
do a jackhammer.
everything in wrestling is essentially recycled. So
That
I don't know.
in
He
Queen
did the
Steph-
underhook slam, the underhook like Scott
Yeah,
Steiner used
like
to do,
Scott,
he slammed
yeah.
him like that.
in
he
Queen
could do
Stephanie. To your point, you're right. I'm looking
Right.
at more so on the aspect of set yourself apart using it as a finisher. You can use it as like a signature move. But if you already got Reigns, who's the biggest star right now in WWE that's done the spear, and we just remember Lashley who just left who did a spear, both of them as finishers, and then you got Braun Breaker using it as a finisher, it don't set you apart. Now if he did it as a signature move or like a lead up, then that's cool. But he's ending people for spears like Reigns has a spear, and you doing a spear. I know you a little small, you like Mighty Mouse to him. He's like big old like Broly from Dragon Ball Z size. You get what I'm saying? Like he using it as a finisher. That's what I'm saying. You can use the move, but too many people using it as a finisher and it don't set you apart. How many people did the DDT besides Jake the Snake and WWF? Nobody else did. Only other person that did the DDT back in the day was Arn Anderson. And he didn't even use that all the time. He used the Gold Buster or the Spine Buster.
Braun doing a spear and then turning into a Steiner recliner would be really
Exactly. Yeah. Like use it as a setup
Yeah,
move.
different.
Right.
Yeah,
cool. I could rock with that. So I like
It's,
that.
just, it's mainly just using it as a finisher is the issue that I have, not using the move as all. Because like you said, Queen Stuff, every move is recycled unless you come up with some brand new move. And he could do the Scott Steiner screwdriver, but they're not gonna let him do that.
oh gosh. Oof.
Nah.
Nah, that
I
ain't
can
happening.
kill somebody.
when they gotta really get the paramedics and we cut to a commercial break because
Bro.
we can't do
Fade to
that.
black. Fade to
Yeah,
black.
you just keep the camera on Michael Cole for
Right.
10 minutes.
Look, and the
Right.
last thing we need is them don't try this at home videos again. For like no,
Yeah. Oh
That
gosh.
Steiner
Ladies and gentlemen,
screwdriver is scary.
Don't try
we'll
this
be
at
back
home.
shortly after this commercial break.
But great
Yeah.
points, y'all. Great
Right.
points, guys.
So next up,
Right.
this segment before we get into our predictions is our weekly Prepped and Cooked segment. For those of y'all that are just joining us in the Ringside Club, Prepped and Cooked means these are the wrestlers that I've picked out for the week that are currently being prepped for disaster, and cooked are the wrestlers that are already fried, sauteed, marinated, and done for. These are going off their stats for the week, not gauging off their whole career, but just off the weekly results. Therefore, I'm starting with my prepped wrestler of the week, Pete Dunne. Crazy to say, after two back-to-back losses of great quality matches, I expect a downward spiral gimmick upon us for the Bruiserweight. I don't know what's to come of Pete Dunne and any wins in the next coming weeks. If he does have a match with Trick Williams at No Mercy at the top of September, which I imagine will be the case, I don't see him winning that match either. Because Trick needs a win, and he already needs to get a win back off Pete Dunne. So that's a third loss coming for Pete Dunne in the next matter of 3 weeks or so. So I don't say he's cooked just yet because he's Pete Dunne. He's always got potential. I even thought it was funny that Ethan Page made reference in their promo together on NXT. He was like, hey, I showed up here for a cup of coffee and I'm the NXT champion. You've been here for how many years and you still haven't won this. So peace out. So like, I was like, oh shit, Pete Dunne is prepped this week. Everyone, what say you? Do you agree or disagree on Pete Dunne being prepped for this week?
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I disagree.
Disagree. If I was to
Yes. I disagree with that because even though he did sustain a loss to Sheamus, the match that he had was really good. And he's of course has been playing double duty because he's been on Raw and NXT, which is crazy. But it's crazy when anybody does it to me because I'm just like, oh, aren't you tired? But anyway, he had an amazing match with Sheamus, and then he fought in that triple threat to try to become number one contender. And yeah, he did
took the
lose.
pin. He took the pin.
Yeah, he took the pin. And yeah, and that was because of Trick Williams. And he could be getting set up to lose to Trick Williams, maybe. But then him and Trick Williams' feud also has the potential to go a little bit further past just them fighting. I believe this is, them a second time. So I wouldn't say that he's prepped for disaster. And I also wouldn't say that he's being given that there's the possibility that he's given another gimmick that could possibly put him in the cooked category because he's already had it. Like a part of his character now is talking about the idea that
The
he's
redemption.
had a gimmick that wasn't the best and he's on his redemption arc. So I don't agree with that.
Okay. Hey, how you feel?
All those points, I agree with Steph. Plus the fact that after that Sheamus match, they cut the camera to see him in the ring, smiling, laughing. So even though he did take the L, it feels like he has something up his sleeve, and that feud with Sheamus isn't over yet either.
That's
Which
a-
is what I feel like is the spiraling out of control gimmick that I think he's gonna get hit with next. Of like I know I'm losing, but I'm losing my fucking mind too. Like that's also gonna be the case. Like I think it's gonna be a mesh of both because they've got to give him something to do to keep us interested. That's what I think. Could be the case. We've got to be more interested in Pete Dunne and not just Butch. Great matches, but something's got to be up for sure. He can't just keep taking the pinfalls. He's too good. Too good for me. So that's my prep wrestler of the week. Cooked. Leo Rush and Top Flight. Come on down, fellas. Y'all boys are sauteed, sizzled, done for. I can't say it enough. They have got new clothes, new apparel, new valets, new entrance music, all of that. But they just can't seem to buy a win or anything that matters on any type of programming. They just recently lost on Collision, spoiler alert, much to the surprise of nobody. They're not in any contention for the Trios division. Hell, they couldn't even get into the Trios title ladder match at Wembley. So Leo Rush and Top Flight, they just can't buy a break. So this week, and this week only, and hopefully not a residential Shinsuke Nakamura level, will be cooked for the rest of this time with the Ringside Club. Everyone else, what say you? Agree or disagree?
Leo Rush is the putty. He's the putty of wrestling. He keeps showing up, getting beat, getting spawned, getting injured, getting spawned again, come back, injured
Spawned
again.
is crazy.
Spawned, injured again, come back, and now he's here. And is he going to be around by October? Because he shows up and disappears. He's back, gets mad, get a verbal act. He's either get injured or goes on a verbal tirade. So I'm with you. He keeps respawning and dying. He's like the little double dragon bad guys in level 1. You beat him up, you disappear, and they show up again.
Right.
He's just. I mean, there's nothing against him. That's just how his career is, and you keep doing that. Does anybody really care?
Yeah. So
he's selling it.
So seeing how you feel.
Oh yeah, Leo Rush is talented. Yeah, and I agree with you saying that they cook and everything. Because Leo Rush, like Tech said, come in and out. Like to me, like will anybody care about him later on? Like, come on, bro, we want you be Rass and everything. Then he gonna disappear months later. And like we even be forgetting the Rasses be there. Everybody in AEW like, okay, they still there. I didn't know that they be disappearing like for months. I don't get that. Yeah.
When Action Andretti debuted and he beat Chris Jericho, I was like, yo, this guy's going to be the future. A little bit out of the Jericho verse, and he is currently the Rampage heavyweight champion. And that's not much of a bright spot. So it's wild how far Top Flight have fallen. I think they'd be great, you know what I'm saying, as main contenders.
Forgot about them.
They need to be in the tag team division more because that tag team division is fucking fried. So, like, them and as the trios in tag team, Top Flight should be there more. So Leo Rush because Leo Rush is a part of Top Flight as the whole gimmick. So that's why I just said that whole faction are cooked this week. Like they're done. Right. Steph, what say you? Agree or disagree?
I agree. I just agree because I just feel like there's so much more that Top Flight and Leo Rush could have, but yet somehow it just doesn't happen. So I agree, sadly.
you can tell you're like, I don't want to agree with this, but when you look at the stats, it's like, damn, I kind of agree. Ayo, how you feel? Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I didn't see what they've been doing, but it doesn't sound good. So, yeah, I agree. It doesn't sound good at all.
The true question is, did anybody buy his rap album? No.
He dropped the album?
Yeah, he had a rap CD.
Oh, wow.
No,
when
I did not know that.
When he got released from WWE, because I talked to him, and I'll tell you off air, I know him and his family and all, because he's the junior. So when he got released, I talked to him. Y'all may not remember, but he was tweeting because he was doing a rap CD. Me and Saltine know this. And he asked us to promote it. He was promoting on Twitter about this rap CD.
It got Wale on the album, don't it?
If it did, y'all won't be sitting here quiet.
I don't listen to Wale music, but
let's just say, and I'm sure AO and you guys in the hip hop, let's just say it made Praz's album look like the blueprint. And yes, I say Praz. if you remember his debut album, and that's why Queen
Insane.
Stephanie looking like, oh my god, yeah.
Ghetto
Remember?
Superstar himself is insane.
No, Prod's album, not the first one, but the one he did that nobody bought. That he made that look like the Blueprint by
I don't
Jay
think
Z.
anyone bought a Pros album, if we're being real.
Exactly.
If it ain't
That's
the
my point.
Fugees.
That's my point.
Oh my goodness.
What a Quincy, all right, Quincy. Hey, yo, try not to laugh. Yeah, he had a
That was-
rap album.
That was the
Wow.
cooked LP, prepped and cooked the LP.
Prepped and cooked the LP, y'all. Now
Wow.
we're going to take it over to our AEW All In predictions. It's that time of the night.
I got the card up. There are 14, 15, 17, 18,
Yo,
Nine
yo,
matches.
chill.
28
Chill out.
matches.
50
Oh my
Eleven.
gosh.
Stop
Yeah.
exaggerating. Stop
50 11
exaggerating.
matches.
50, 11 of them things, man.
50, 11 matches.
Look,
All in.
I'm gonna say this.
Wembley.
I guarantee you, me and my family, me and my wife, daughter and family will be coming back from Ohio on Sunday afternoon. I guarantee you, by the time we come back to the house, I'm probably only going to miss 3 matches within the main show. Because you know that pre-shows is like a Monday Night Raw as it is. Which I don't get, but that's another story.
There's supposed to be, I think, 4 pre-show matches, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure AO will probably correct me, but
I don't know. I know it's a 2-hour joint. They've usually blocked those off for 2, so there'll probably be at least at minimum 3. What I have right now is off of the Wikipedia. I see 10 plus the Casino Gauntlet confirmed entrance. I don't know if this takes into account anything that already happened but didn't air yet on Collision. But I'm going off of the Wikipedia, so we can
defending
run.
your championship, by the way, too.
Yeah, why the fuck not? Forgot
We got guests here, so it's only right. You know.
All
What
right,
I'm
so
saying?
here's the deal. We're gonna go down here. These are way too many matches to go like super duper in depth. We can definitely break down a few of them. World title matches, TBS title, and all that. But the general rules here: Ringside Club. I apparently am the defending champ. So, title matches, championship matches. Those are 2 points. Non-title matches are 1 point. If any of you the challengers here that are not regulars on the Ringside Club happen to win the title, you got to come back on the Ringside Club to defend it on a future episode for a PLE or a PPV,
Which will
whichever
be
comes first.
next week for Bash in Berlin. It's that time of the month.
Right. But with that being said, I'm just going in order the way that is laid out on Wikipedia. We'll see what the actual order of these matches are on Sunday. Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway versus Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii. Let's just go wins, loss. Chad, what you got?
I think that Willow needs this win because she just took the loss to Statlander in the one-on-one match. So, I mean, who cares? Why not? Just give it to them and just start packing this fucking feud up, man. Let's get the show on the road, yo. Let's just get it on the road, man.
I got
Willow and Ishii.
Yeah, Ishii and Willow.
Well, I'm writing it down right now. Willow and Ishii.
Steph.
I'm gonna say Chris and Stokely simply because I feel like they're gonna do some underhanded stuff, and then they're going to pick the stipulation for the match, and it's gonna wind up working in Willow's favor in the end at All Out. So I'm gonna pick Chris and Stokely because they're dastardly.
Saltine.
Ishii and Willow. Why? I just have that feeling that Stokely might hit Ishii. Ishii won't, affect, and then Ishii just gonna beat his ass. sorry, Stokely, you my boy, but hey.
Word to the conglomerate. You got to send the people home happy. You got to give them what they want, and you can't start the show off with 2 dastardly heels getting the victory. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm going with Chris and Stokely. They're taking the win. They'll pick the stipulation, like Steph said. And for that one-on-one match with Willow and Chris, I got Willow defending successfully at All Out. So, got to have a little bit of drama. So I'm going with Chris and Stokely. Match number 2, we have Timeless Tony Storm. This is the AEW Women's World Titles. This is pretty early. Maybe this is just an order of the matches that were announced. I don't know what's happening there, but regardless.
Yeah, I don't see this as being the second match.
Nah, it's not at all.
Yeah.
But Timeless Tony Storm, she'll be defending the Women's World Championship against Mariah May.
I'm gonna say Tony's gonna keep the title because it's one of the best things AEW have right now with her character. I mean,
I agree.
you can always do a rematch at what's the next one? All In, All Out. I get them mixed
All
up.
Out's next, yeah.
All Out. So you can always do a rematch. So I'm gonna say Tony Storm.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Tony Storm retains. After watching Dynamite last night, it really became apparent to me that Mariah doesn't have as much heat as the IWC will make you believe. I don't think she really is the one that's going to beat Tony Storm. Unfortunately, she probably will be at All Out, but not All In. I just don't see it being the, oh, dastardly heel wins. I just like, it almost seemed like crickets last night when Mariah May showed up. So I just feel like Tony Storm has still got that fire, and she could legit retain and keep it pushing and lose to Mariah in a gimmick match at All Out. So I'm going Tony Storm. Steph,
Yeah,
who you got?
I'm sorry. I'm going with Tony Storm as well because honestly, I feel like emotionally she is definitely distraught from everything that has happened and she does want her pound of flesh. And plus, when she cut that promo and screamed it and attacked Mariah and said, "Are you prepared to die? Because I am." Yeah, that's a wrap.
I don't.
Tony,
Yeah, I just don't see this being the end. Like I just don't
Tony
see it. Like,
is
I don't see
retaining.
it. I don't see Tony losing and like, okay, that's it. Like I just don't see it. I just don't see it. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm glad we all kind of on the same page.
Well, what
Saltine, who you got?
you
Tony's prepared to die, so she's gonna keep the title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anytime somebody says something like that, you got it. Like,
That's
Yes.
why I say gimmick match. It's
I
got to.
come
If
in
she's gonna
peace.
lose,
I
she got to
come
lose
in
in a gimmick.
peace.
It ain't gonna be a one-on-one match. It's gonna be a gimmick, chain, first blood type of deal. But it ain't gonna be a straight up. Mariah hits the same moves that Tony Storm hits, and that's the end of the match. Like I don't
Yeah.
see it. Saltine, who you got?
Tony.
Tony.
Tony would be why because that when she turned to black, I wonder if she's gonna go with that look in that match that she's going versus Mariah because she's gonna become another personality of her and just beat her ass. That's one. Mariah, I was surprised that the audience wasn't, into her, and that's her hometown, like her home country, I should say.
Dog, I watched the show
That was
twice. I was
surprised.
like, this shit is crickets right now. Like
Yeah, I was
nobody's
surprised
reacting.
for her. Yeah. So yeah, Tony seemed like the best bet, and then all out, like you said, gimmick match or anything, she might get that shot to win the championship. And all out ain't that long from here either.
No,
So
it's
hey,
not. Ayo, how you feel?
Yeah, I think clean sweep. I'm going with Tony. It just makes sense. Like, I didn't see Dynamite yesterday, but if there wasn't that big of a reaction, I'm not sure if that would have been the place to take the title off of Tony Storm anyway. I think this is, even though she's not from England technically, it's still a big. It's been a she cut her teeth over there. She has a big history and progress, and
NXT
obviously,
UK.
yeah. So she's a veteran of that scene, so she's gonna get the homecoming welcome, basically. For that big of a stage, 50,000, 55,000, whatever the number is, they're going up all the way up for Tony Storm, and she's gonna walk out of there still champ. So clean sweep. I think we all have
Two
Tony Storm.
things. Crazy enough, because we all said Tony Storm, watch Mariah win. And secondly,
I started to go with Mariah just for that reason, but I'm like,
she
yeah.
lost at last year's Wembley show. So I just don't see her losing 2 years in a row at Wembley in a women's title match.
But the question is, who cares? If our own people doesn't care, why should everyone else?
Who, Tony or Mariah?
Mariah.
No, I said Tony. This is her second.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, she
this
did.
is her
Yeah.
second women's title match at Wembley. So that's why I'm just like, I just don't see her
Nah, she's winning.
2 years in a row.
And when she wins, that's even a more reason to wait 24 hours later for the medium scrum to actually happen. For us to see Tony Storm's post game, little post game or post interview, because she does a lot of great work for the media scrums, even though it takes forever to start.
A media scrum will be entertaining if she does retain.
Yeah, I got that's a good
Yeah.
point. I got her winning. She's not losing twice in her home area, region, territory.
Next match.
sir. All right, next up we have MJF. This is the AEW International Championship, actually the American
The American.
Championship. No. It's the international title, but as MJF calls it, the American
The
Championship.
International American belt.
Of course, that makes total sense. Versus
The
Will Ospreay.
worldwide.
Yeah, it's the worldwide title.
The custom belt.
It's
Yeah,
it's the du-
it's the
it's,
globe title. You
it's the
know,
WCW Worldwide title.
it's the
It's not
globe
the
Trotter's title.
continental. It's the international.
Yeah, MJF versus Will Ospreay. He's defending against Will Ospreay. Who we at?
Osprey, man.
Mm.
I mean, MJF doesn't need the title. Not that Osprey needs it either, but give it to Osprey. Give him the little extra. I mean, Osprey's the face right now at AEW, so MGF doesn't need it. It's still weird of him having it. So I don't see why this isn't Osprey against Swerve for the title, but that's another story. But
Oh, you're that guy?
yeah, I am.
Oh,
Uh,
Jesus.
You're
uh,
that
yeah, it makes sense. But I mean, give it to Osprey. I got Osprey winning the title. MGF still will be MGF. Give a little nudge for Osprey because at some point they're gonna have him win the world title down the line. And MGF could keep being MGF. He doesn't need a title.
I'm going Osprey. Yeah, I'm. The building is going to erupt if Osprey loses. They're going to lose their shit. They're just going to riot. It's going to be massacre on Pelham Street, Pelham Bay. Like it's just going to be ridiculous. Saying like
Wow.
that whole arena will erupt if Osprey loses. I'm of the elk as a Long Islander. I would love MJF to retain. Like MJF could easily retain, but he's already 1-0 against Osprey. Daniel Garcia will most likely return because he's best fit for AEW, despite what anyone else believes. He shouldn't go to NXT. He should just stay with AEW and continue to just thrive there. And that leads to MJF, Garcia for All Out. And then Pat gets his title shot against Osprey at All Out. And that card starts to fill itself out rather quickly. Like all within one night, that card for All Out will just start to reveal itself. So Osprey with the win, the big send him home happy. And that's that. It will be a great match, though. I think that match is going to be an outstanding match. Kangaroo kicks, all that shit. Like, we're going to get all of it.
Tiger Driver 91.
Tiger Driver 91.
93.
97. We're going to get it all.
93, all the different years with all different moves, too.
You might bust out a Tiger Driver 01. You know what I'm saying? It might be a whole lot of variations of Tiger Driver teases and Tiger Driver executions. So, Steph, who you got?
I have Will Ospreay winning because I just feel like him losing in his home country on this larger of a level on a platform like this would just be criminal. And I just feel like the American title just needs to be changed back to the international title. I never understood what was wrong with it in the first place. And when I found out it changed, I was like, huh, why? So yeah, just for those two reasons right there, I just want Will Ospreay to give him a show, somewhat, I guess, out wrestle MJF and just get that title and turn it back to the international belt.
You know what's crazy? On the other side of the fence, there's a North American and a United States championship, but I just see the American championship, and I'm like, this is weird. Like, we've already got a North American and a United States belt, but an American championship just seems way too MAGA for me. Like, no. It's like, if they would have just called it the United States Championship, I would have been like, this is all right. But the American Championship,
man said MJF is walking around with the America champion.
Yeah, like the American title. I was just like, I don't know. Like, only on the other side of the fence do we have a North American and a United States. So it's
just call it the America Fuck Yeah Championship, like Team America World Police.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
The
man
We the
comes
People
out on a Harley. He got an eagle on his shoulder.
The We the People belt. He's gonna wave
America.
the American flag. Yo, MJF's waving the American flag for his entrance. Like that's gonna be hysterical, dog.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Saltine, who you got?
I'm gonna say with Ospreay, he got a lot going for it because that little promo they had on Wednesday night where MJF went personal. Sometimes I think it's corny that he get personal and stuff, but he gotta do it, of course. I think he just like, yeah, you just let a lion out. And you never know what Will Ospreay gonna come with, what moves he gonna do. He might do something new out of nowhere. Like, what the hell he just did? So hey, Will Ospreay seemed like the guy to do it. But it should be interesting. Like you say, Daniel Garcia could come back and interrupt it and mess up the whole thing for MGF. So you gotta look out for that.
Yeah, yo, how you feel?
This is Osprey. It's easily Osprey. Done. Easy story. Open close. He lost this title to win it back at Wembley for the pop. Done.
Mhm.
If he loses it, I think AEW would have been like I would have actually. I'll tip my hat to that booking. I'll be like, yo, this is some good shit right here. Like this was good. Like
Yeah, if you want to book chaos, which I'm never really opposed to at times, we can do that, but that's not
Oof.
happening. That's not
Jeez.
happening. All right, so moving right along. Coffin match. TNT Championship, Jack Perry, Darby Allin.
oh Lord,
We can just go. We could just go W or L. Breeze
Look,
through one or two of
with,
these.
with with the combined weight of 210 pounds.
legit.
I mean,
Cruiserweight coffin match.
it's okay. One thing's for sure, because I don't think anyone cares about this match. Darby Allin's almost gonna break his neck. Jack Perry's gonna bleed, and Jack Perry's gonna win because they keep
Wow.
trying to push him as a heel. And you really think that Punk footage was going to push him as a heel? No, the last time we cared about him was he was dealing with Jurassic Park. Was it Luchasaurus, Junglesaurus?
Express.
What his name
Jurassic
was? Lost
Express.
World.
Wow.
Jurassic Express.
Yeah, whatever it was. That's the last time we cared about him when they had that cage match. Remember that? After
Yeah.
No,
that,
for real, you ain't wrong though. You ain't
after
wrong.
that, no one cares
Mm-hmm.
about him. They keep pushing him as a heel. We don't care as him as a heel. He grew a beard. Okay, fine. You finally grew a beard. You're like what 22, 23 years old. You weigh 110 pounds. I mean, and Darby Allin is amazing, but Darby is great. He just needs to be around more seasoned people, people that's more character and people care about to really get him over because he's one of the best characters and homegrown talents that AEW has. But I just hope Darby Allin doesn't die because you know how he is. He's like Cactus Jack on speed. So
All right.
Yeah.
yeah, you're laughing.
I'm I'm gonna go ahead and say that Darby Allin wins the TNT title for the upteen thousandth time. I think Chalupa Jack just ain't really gonna have a successful title defense. Like this is a rare time the TNT title even gets defended. I think all the belts being with the Elite have been some of the worst booking in all of AEW history. Just no defenses, all gloating. It's time to start taking those belts off those guys, and let's start with the TNT title. I think Darby goes into Arthur Ashe Grand Slam as the TNT champion fighting the world champion with a whole champion versus champion motif to build some hype for Arthur Ashe for Grand Slam. I don't think he wins, but I think that'll lead to his inevitable winning of the world title at Wrestle Dream in Washington. And I fortunately have saw the light. I am one of the big Darby Allin fucking like, oh God, everyone ball washes Darby Allin. So much Darby Allin. Darby Allin this, Darby Allin that. But I see the light. He's the AEW guy. He's one of the more believable figures, and I think a world title reign is in the cards for Darby Allin this year. TNT title included. He'll lose it to just win the world title. So I'm going Darby. Steph, what say you?
Well, I'm predicting that Jack Perry might win. Simply because the thing that weirds me out about him, not even in a bad way, but just I saw the video of him on social media making his own title. And that was kind of, yes, that felt really like personal for me because I guess I've never really seen anybody physically like make their own thing. And for some reason, that gives me the intention that maybe he's going to hang on to it for a while as opposed to just making something short term and then all of a sudden you just lose it again, even though something like that has happened before. We're not going to discuss it right now. But yeah, I just feel like Jack Perry is going to retain the title, even though you could argue that Darby Allin, is in his wheelhouse when it comes to these type of matches because he's just an adrenaline junkie. He's crazy. So I'm predicting that Jack Perry's going to win it, though. He's going to retain.
So, team.
So team, who you got?
Ooh, I want you, Jarvis, but I have to go with Jack Perry. Why? He
Crazy.
made the championship. I was surprised that he makes his own titles. I was like,
How's
damn.
him making a belt just got everyone so everyone's like, oh my
I
god, he knows how to make a belt.
I was
He's got to
really
win
surprised
clearly.
with
We
that
did it as
because that
kids.
really saved
Nothing new.
money for them. They really saved money for them to buy championship because it seemed like Tony Khan keep buying championship every fucking damn day. I'm like, dude, how many times we gonna have custom made belts we do? Well, I mean, he has the money, but damn. But it just seemed like Jack Perry going to come at it. Surprisingly, going to be in Darby Allen's kind of match, which would be surprising.
I think we got a glass reference somewhere in this to call back from last year, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't want to see that, but I do think that I'm gonna go with Jack Perry. Um, not for the reason of a brand new championship, but for the
Right.
reason that Jack Perry just came back with something that's a little newer as far as a character in the last couple of months versus Darby Allen is still Darby Allen, right? He's been a cornerstone, been a pillar, been a staple, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't really think that Jack Perry in this current version of Jack Perry isn't established yet. So if you give him a win in a coffin match, which is a match that you would expect Darby Allen would be the expert in or would fare better in, that makes Jack Perry look pretty good, adds some legitimacy, you know? He wins that or retains that championship, and it gives a little bit more credence and legitimacy to this new version of Jack Perry. If he loses this after just coming back, joining the Elite, winning the
He's
TNT
been back though.
championship,
How's he just come back? He's been
what
there
I'm
for months.
saying is this version of Jack Perry is not as established as Darby Allen is.
I just
Darby,
can't see Darby
Dar-
going
Darby
to
Allen's
Arthur
been Dar-
Ashe with
Darby
a
Allen's
world.
been Darby Allen from day zero.
Exactly.
This new Jack Perry's been Jack Perry for what, couple of
15
months,
minutes. Yeah,
15
15
minutes.
minutes.
So I agree with AO.
I just can't see Darby going to Arthur Ashe with this with being put in a coffin. Like it's like, how do you got a world title match at a Grand Slam and you can't win a coffin match? I just that to me is like, nah. I think he goes into Arthur Ashe with the TNT title.
But I
Because
think
you can also have multiple, there's no DQ in this match. So it's not like it just has to be a 1v1 for the entirety of the match. You have the Elite, you have whomever else might have some kind of relationship with Jack Perry. They can interfere on behalf. Somebody that Darby Allen has beef with that he, maybe we're overlooking somebody from his past. Whatever the case is, it doesn't have to be a one-on-one pin shoulders to the mat. So it doesn't hurt him. And again, my point of Darby Allen being Darby Allen, he's not losing anything by losing a match, right? Because again, he's the crazy dude that all he has to do is jump off of something really high tomorrow, and
Guilty
oh shit, there
Glass.
goes Darby Allen again.
Can't
You know
believe
what I
I'm
mean?
taping for Darby Allen this much. What the fuck is happening with life right
Nah,
now?
you're just not a Darby Allen fan. That's all.
I,
I'm
I,
just
I,
waiting for you to actually admit that you
Nah,
don't like Darby. This is two
nah, yo.
episodes in a row, by the way.
Yo, pause. I'm ball watching Darby like the rest of everyone.
That's
Yo,
insane. So
Darby winning. Darby
that's
gotta
a
win, man. Darby's
Da-
winning.
da-
that's not the point though. The point
Darby's
is
the
you
TNT
don't like
champion.
Darby Allen.
Darby's gonna be TNT champion. He's gonna be the world champion this year. Darby Allen's year, man. This is Darby Allen's season.
yeah, and he said that 2 years ago, and look at him now. He ended up tag teaming with the GOAT Sting.
I
This is
just
Darby Allen's
want
season,
then-
man.
I just really want you to actually just one day verbalize that I don't like Darby Allen. That's all
Yeah,
I'm
Nah,
gonna
I'm
say.
on the bandwagon. I'm on the bandwagon now. It's Darby Allen time.
No. That's a different conversation. Just because you think he's gonna win doesn't mean that you actually like watching him on television.
I like Darby Allen. I do, but Jack Perry has more to losing this match than Darby Allen. Darby Allen could lose, still be Darby Allen. You probably forget he could do something crazy on Dynamite or Rampage. Whoever watches that shit,
And he's back up.
Collision. He's
Yo,
still
Jack
artist,
Perry got a
like
Taco Bell
him.
commercial. How could he lose, man? Come on. Like how could he have nothing to gain? He's got a Taco Bell commercial. He got a
Okay.
chalupa.
You know
He
what
got a
that's
chalupa
called?
named after him.
You know what that's called? That's called endorsement. It's called marketing. It happens.
You know what I mean?
You on TV. It brings more brand and more awareness to your promotion.
He got his own
You
Taco
go out,
Bell
you go.
fucking
Okay,
South
what you
American.
do? He got extra money. You promote it. Oh, more promotion for your TV, more promotion and marketing for you. You go out Sunday, Saturday, whatever day it's going to be on. Just saying the
Sell
general.
tacos, man.
Yeah,
That's
tacos.
my
He'll
Taco
lose.
Bell.
And guess what? He'll lose. And guess what? It's not going to mess up the sales for the chalupa because the little kids and the Tony Hawks of the world and the emo kids of the world are still going to buy the taco and the chalupa if Darby Allin wins or loses. But Jack Perry needs to win because it's going to add him as a heel status and it's going to make you, as Stephanie said, is going to make you not like him even more because he beat the beloved Darby Allin. That's booking 101. We seen this shit 1980 going on to now. It happens. Jack Perry wins. You make him more as a heel. You hate him more. He made his daughter the plastic and metals. We did his kids. It's nothing new. He can keep doing the promo. I made my belt. I beat your beloved Darby Allin. It adds more heat. Even though we don't like him, it adds more to his character. It adds more weight. And guess what? Darby Allin's still gonna be Darby Allin. Wearing the small Daisy Dukes and little nylon stockings, doing a few glass and what have
when
you.
Darby Allin
It's still
closes the
love him.
casket on Jack Perry, I'll bookmark this and be like, well, that's it for Jack Perry, folks. We'll see you on Dynamite.
We just want to
On to the next match.
We just want to hear you say you don't like Darby Allin. See y'all.
Love Darby Allin. I'm a Darby Allin guy. Darby Allin fanatic. I should have seen him at Fanatics this past weekend, yo. I'm a Darby Allin guy.
Man,
Darby gang. Big
don't
Darby.
believe you at all.
And this
Don't
no
believe you at
fans.
all.
CL's reason for Darby Allin to win is because he has a marketing deal and has a chalupa from Taco Bell.
Yo, I think that Darby has a world title match at a major show, and he can't be getting put in the casket.
And real quick, you do realize X-Pac was the marketing guy for YJ Stinger, and he lost like 3 weeks in a row on WWE.
Yo, you said X-Pac and YJ Stinger. Two
Yeah.
things
So
that are never around.
so
Neither of which are
oh,
around.
okay.
Much love to Sean Waltman.
Now I'm saying
Big
Sean,
fan of the
okay,
RSC.
so your knowledge is Darby isn't losing because he has a chalupa, right? Back in the day, X-Pac
No,
was
Jack has a chalupa, so he can
Jack
lose. He can lose. He's fine.
No, Jack, he needs it.
Nah, he's got the chalupa. He's got the menu on Taco Bell. You go to Taco Bell right now, yo, let me get the Jack Perry box. They're going to give it to you. He's good with Taco Bell.
Okay, but we need the character to establish. And as AO said, it's new and you need weight. You're going to hate. The whole thing of being a heel is for what, guys? For you to hate him, right? So wouldn't you hate Jack Perry more that he beat your beloved Darby Allin and he keeps telling it in your face on Dynamite and Collision?
My beloved Darby Allin.
Right, so you would hate him. So there you go. You already agree. Because if Darby Allin doesn't need to win, he's still going to be Darby Allin. He's already established. And as AO said, he's been Darby Allin since day zero.
It's my beloved Darby.
We have like 2 really big matches, so I want to breeze through like a couple of these. Just go around robin as far as win loss, right? Chris Jericho versus Hook, round robin, win or loss. Who you got?
Hook is winning.
Steph has Hook.
Gosh.
Saltine.
Hook.
Tech.
I'm going to give it to Hook. This is a sad, though. But yeah, give it to Hook.
Chad.
I'm going to go with. I want my predictions title back, so I guess I'm going to go with Real Logic. Although I'd love to just fuck shit up and say Jericho. I'm going to just go with Hook.
I too am going with Hook.
Damn.
So that's the last chance match, FTW. If Hook loses, he can't challenge for the FTW title as long as Jericho
Wait,
has
is
it.
that belt is still unsanctioned, correct? That belt
Correct.
is still not
Correct.
AEW.
Yeah. It's still like the Rebel title, whatever. We have the AEW World Tag Team Championship 3-way tag match. Just go around who's winning, who's losing. We have the Young Bucks defending against FTR and the Acclaimed. Steph.
This was kind of hard
Yeah.
because all of these tag teams are amazing. But I feel like because the Young Bucks have just, stuck inside of their heel ways of also being in charge or whatnot, I feel like they might retain in some weird way. Otherwise, I would say FTR, but seeing as they're in charge and stuff and they're just being, heels in that way, I would just say the Young Bucks are retaining.
So,
That's a
team,
tough
you got
one.
Young Bucks. I have a feeling they might, something will happen. They magically win. That's how they little stunts.
Tech.
I'm with Stephanie. This one is tough. I'm gonna go with FTR because I'm with CO on this. Like, let's get rid of the belts off of that. I mean, it's not doing anything. They're not pulling ratings. The Bucks can still be the Bucks. To give it to FTR, they need it. I mean, they're acclaimed. I love them, but they kind of, for some reason, been starting to get prepped. As you guys say, they was hot. Then they kind of got watered down some, kind of brought down. So give it to FTR. I mean, they've been one of the best. They need something because their tag team division is straight
Dirt.
butt cheeks. Yeah, it's straight. Yeah, it's
Ooh.
bad.
I never want to see these three fight again. Like after this pay per view, I never want to see this version of either three of these teams have a feud. Although I'm sure I'll be wrong, and they'll continue to fight for the rest of the year. Just 1v1, like one team versus one team, gimmick match and all. But I think the Idiot World Order retain the belts on Sunday. I think it's inevitable. The Bucks will hold the titles. It's only right. This is their only real defense that matters. They could lose it at All Out, but I just think that if I'm going to go with Darby Allin winning the TNT title, that someone from the IWO has to retain their belts. And I'm going to go with the Bucks being the ones to retain their belts. By FTR causing the mishap. Like FTR will fuck it up and just hit the shatter machine on the Acclaimed, allowing Maddie or Nikki to get the pinfall.
Oh gosh, yeah. I can
No,
see that.
that's a good way to put it.
That's a good way.
I honestly think this is a tough one to call, but I think this is a 2-team match versus a 3-team match. Like the Acclaim to me have no shot whatsoever and are not.
No,
in
it's
the
crazy,
conversation.
yo. I actually, if I didn't go with the Bucks, I was gonna say the Acclaim would win the belts because they need it. They need like a shot in the arm or anything. Like they need this
No,
rejuvenation.
I agree, but I don't know if the shot in the arm is them winning the title. I think it's
They-
doing something to blow up the team at this point. Like
Yeah.
I don't think them showing back up on Wednesday with the titles is the shot in the arm that they need. I don't think that does anything for them.
I think they just go heel, if anything. Like they talk so heelish that to me it's like they are the other heel team in this group.
They
But
Aeon
they're
Aeon
the best wrestler in the world, and that's not a babyface thing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that is very heelish of Max Caster. So I think somehow the Acclaim go heel and either turn on Daddy Ass, and that's what does it for him. Like that's what will send him over the top.
You know, for the longest, I thought that Billy Gunn would have been the one to turn on the Acclaimed and
We
join
all
up
did.
I
with the
did too.
Elite.
Yeah, me
I did
too.
too.
Yeah.
I
We
thought
all
the same
did.
thing.
But after this past promo on Dynamite, the way Max Caster talks and the way that nobody reacts, I feel like it'll be the other way around. Like they're gonna be like, "Yo, Daddy Ass, you're way more over than us. Get the fuck away from us," because he really is. Billy Gunn is more over than everyone in this match. If you look at all the reactions, like Billy Gunn shows up and the crowd goes ape shit.
But I have
FTR
seen,
goes here and it's like, yeah, been here, done this.
yeah, I have seen a collection of fans online, express that they would love to see Anthony break free from the Acclaim. How do you guys feel about that?
I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of that conversation, and I see the potential. It's just tough because a lot of that is also built on the hot tag. So
Yeah.
I'd have to see a little bit more of him. It's like I got to see the training wheels off a little bit.
He's the
great
genetic.
he's great. I don't know. I don't know.
I think he's Genetti. I think he becomes Genetti if they split, man. Max got the mouthpiece, pause. So he can actually
No, but I think
talk his way out of this.
Yeah, but
I think Bowens can talk also though.
I
He just has
think-
a different delivery. It's more like a hype the crowd babyface thing, which I think translates well. And then in the ring, I think he has a more exciting bell to bell.
I feel like I think Bowens is better in the ring for his longevity as opposed like Caster's good, but I feel like Bowens is a better worker in the ring than that's just my opinion. Not saying anything against Caster, but I think Bowens does a lot more in the ring than Ken. I think he's a little better worker. Is this he gets overshadowed because Caster is presented as the mouthpiece pause as opposed to Owens. But as AO said, they do need a shot in the arm, but they're overshadowed because you got FTR and the Buckies. You not come on now. It's like it's like having Strike Force and then you have Demolition in the Heart Foundation. It's certain teams like they're good, but you got certain other teams that are like here
Even-
it's like you're not.
Yeah.
Nah.
And then if you look at it, right, if let's just say for shits and giggles, if the Acclaim to end this match, but none of us believe that they really have that big of a shot to win the title, wouldn't it make sense for something here to be the catalyst for what drives them apart? Like one of them gets, say Bowens for whatever reason is the one to take the pin, Caster turns heel because he's frustrated that we just lost again and it's your fault now. That's a shot in the arm right there. If you
That's
want to
a
break the
shot.
team up and do something
Yeah.
fresh. So
Right.
we'll see. But with that being said, as far as like who I'm picking, this is tough. Like FTR winning this championship, that would be to make them 3-time. The Young Bucks, like, if the Young Bucks lose the titles now, it's a very weird reign. Looking back, they wrestled
Terrible reign.
twice, 3 times, maybe. Defended it once, maybe. Is this the only time they defended it since they won it?
Second
Second
defense.
time.
That's because they got the contracts. That's because
Yeah.
they the
It's
ones
all
that
under that guise of we're the EVP, so like
Yeah.
we can get away with it. So it's cool.
So
It's
to me,
like-
like even with that wrinkle of them still being the EVPs and doing what they want, it still feels pretty anticlimactic if they lose it here because there's so much that they can do within that character. So I'm going with I was about to say the Hardys. I'm going with the Young Bucks.
the Hardys.
I'm going with the Young Bucks to retain. One more match to just breeze through, and then of course we have the World Championship match, and of course we have Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker, DMD, versus the CEO. But real quick, we got the Patriarchy. This is a 4-way London ladder match. The Trios Championship is on the line. Christian Cage, Killswitch, Nick Wayne defending against the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn. The House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Pac, and the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta.
What?
I got the Black
What?
Mist. I got the Black Mist. You know you're gonna
House
say
Black?
it's doing the Black Mist.
He's got the
Put it
black
right
mist.
there.
I get it. I get what you talking.
Oh man, this is first of all, why do we even have a trios title? Why? I asked Kitty Khan this in a media call, and he deflected it. I asked him 3 times, 3 separate media calls. No answer. I have. I'm sorry, I'm that guy.
I'm
Long
fine
Island.
with trios belts, yo.
The
Why do we have
boldness.
another ladder match here? You just
And
can't
it's
be an AEW
AEW.
pay-per-view
Every
without a ladder
pay-per-view
match.
has to have a ladder match. Like Moxley has to bleed every day of the week. Every AEW pay-per-view has to have a ladder match. Who wins? Oh gosh.
Who you got?
I would say just for shits and giggles and heel, give it to the Patriarchy. Give it to Christian Cage and Killswitch. Just so Christian Cage can still wear them little small Shane McMahon last Nitro turtlenecks and keep rubbing it in our faces and saying that he's win and I'm your daddy. Just give it to that. Because other than that, I mean, the Bang Bang Gang, I mean, they're cool, but they need to be on TV more. We love the House of Black, but they're not showcased as much. They need to be around more formidable trios tag teams, which we don't even need this belt. And we love the Blackpool Combat Club, but your tag team division sucks as it is. So just give it to the trios title, and then you got more tag teams because that's what you just split them all up. But I give it to Turtleneck and Lost World.
Steph, who you got?
Nick Wayne.
I have the House of Black because they're just my favorite team out of all the other teams. But honestly, I feel like the winners are the ladders because they get to destroy everybody. The ladders are the winners. The ladders are the winners, but I'm definitely predicting House of Black because that's my favorite team out of all of them.
I do love House of Black. I will say that I do.
I'm going Patriarchy. They need a reputable title defense. I think them losing on their first defense is ridiculous. I just find it fitting that them and the Bucks losing their title belt, their tag title belts on their first, second defenses is just so not the move. I don't know. It just don't sit right with me. So I think Patriarchy wins, and they drop them at All Out. Everybody seems to be forgetting All Out's right around the corner. So I think All In is the very happy-go-lucky fairy tale.
That's a good point.
Typical shit. Like, expect the expected for All In, and then All Out is where we get all the real swerves that are like, oh shit, didn't see that coming. Let's pop the crowds, pop the ratings.
As much as you love Darby Allin might join them. He might be part of the trios title.
Yo,
he's gonna
with
win
who?
all the titles.
With
No,
who?
I'm just saying, since you love Darby Allin, he's gonna win all the belts.
I don't know who's to be his tag team partner, man. Come on. Like, he's already been a tag team champion. You know what I'm saying?
He'll
One of
find
the greatest
two.
tag team champions of all time in all AEW.
I'm picking when you say he's gonna win all the titles, so he got to win the trios title. We gotta find 2 people.
I mean, shit. It ain't at any point he could have, you know what I mean? You could have a part of the conglomeration with Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly, and that whole
He
fucking.
can bring back the Cup Boys. What the Street Profit want to be dudes? What's their name? The
Private Party.
Yeah, bring back Private Party or something. I don't know. They can bring them back.
It could be anybody.
Yo, Darby and Private Party is.
Private Party are fucking cooked, by the way. The
Right,
only
I know
reason
they
they're
are.
not cooked is because you never
Yeah.
seen it. They're cooked.
I'm just saying it just to stuff around.
They are cooked, though.
That was
Yeah,
So-
Chris
hilarious,
Jericho did
bro.
that.
Yeah, I'm going Private Party. Saltine, who you got?
Oh my gosh. So that's the mystery team Private Party, right? Because I know it's like
No,
three of them.
no,
but-
no.
No,
Is
no.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
It's
We were
going to be
told it's
Ricochet
not-
and Vacant.
Yeah, Patriarchy,
Oh.
Bang Bang Gang, House of Black, and Pack in the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh, okay. But okay, so that's the ad team. Oh man. I want to say the Patriot because of course that's one of the title defense, so they can't lose the first one. So Kristen, he gonna find a way to win that and have his belt. He said, "Give me my belt." Walking like this. This is my belt. And then I know what? Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. I can't even get his name. I know who he is, but name not popping up. But he gonna carry the titles like this. Like look at him like, really? I won the titles too. Like shit.
So who you got?
Me?
Yeah, who you got?
Oh, I said Patriot.
Patriarchy.
Patriarchy.
All right.
Yeah.
Patriarchy.
Sorry
All
about that.
right. Bad.
Yeah, I'm
Patriarchy.
gonna go with the Patriarchy as well. I just love how Christian Cage holds a belt, Nick Wayne holds a belt,
Shayna
and
Wayne,
then,
Mama
and
Wayne.
then Mother Wayne holds a belt.
Mama
Switch
Wayne.
is Kill Switch is always
Kill
the,
Switch, thank you.
the odd one out of the group,
Lost
and
World.
he's the one doing the work, and it's funny.
I keep calling him Luchasaurus. I'm always say, what's his name? Kill Switch. Yeah.
Kill Switch, yeah. Lucha Kill Switch Saurus.
What's the you look like the
Thank
dude
you.
from The Walking Dead? What's my man from The Walking Dead? Beta. That's what we look like.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
Beta from The Walking Dead.
All right, we got two big ass matches left.
Queen stuff
have
Anatomy on
The
this one.
TBS, there's a lot of initials here. AEW, TBS, DMD, CEO. Mercedes Moné is defending. Of course, Camille will be there with her. She's defending that TBS championship against Dr. Britt Baker, who is not my cousin, by the way, DMD. Who do we have?
She's not your cousin, really?
Nah.
I'm so sad.
It's crazy. They know Ayo had that Yakubian in him.
Oh Lord.
Ayo auntie and uncles on the other side. of it. You know what I'm saying?
If you want to do,
Britt
you want to do,
Baker.
what's that? Ancestry.com.
Yeah, about to find out, right?
23andMe.
It's okay. Jeff and Matt aren't my brothers either, so
There you
know.
go.
Ha, ha.
Sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
Mr. Hughes.
Crazy. I
not
really
my
thought y'all were
uncle, so,
related.
hey.
I was gonna be like, yo, I wonder if Steph was from Cameron, North Carolina.
No, I'm
Guys-
from Alabama.
Just see you got hit the Jeff Hardy one time.
Yeah, because Jeff Hardy cares about his brother so much. He dances while his brother's getting his ass whipped before he actually
Yeah.
helps him.
That's the best entrance
Yeah,
of all
yeah,
time, by the way.
Yeah, let me
It
get
is.
my
Of all
let me get
time.
my stuff off real quick before I go help my brother. You
It's
really
like,
get
yo, Matt, I'm gonna hold you down, but
I got
I'm
you. Yo,
over here with
let
it.
me get my
Let me get this dance
Yeah,
off
let me
real
dance
time, boy.
first.
look. See
they
y'all
hit
from
my
these long
music,
Do
hours,
your
big
dance.
bro.
Do your dance.
Man, let me get my shit off real quick.
Nah,
Hey,
that's
hold
a
on, hold
top
on,
5
hold on.
entry. If there's ever a wrestling one of the best entrances, that is a top 5
Of all time. That was tremendous.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's talked about. That's that's an AEW memory, just in itself. Nah, that
You
was
know,
one hell of an entrance.
that's some Baltimore shit right there. Like, all right, you good, yo? Hold up, real quick. Let me get.
That's cool. I had no shit happen to me in Baltimore. Niggas gonna fuck around, and start dancing instead of helping.
Like, you be all right, yo. You be good. You can hold. You already got hit 10 times. Still ain't gonna hurt you. You
Yeah,
already
that's
be over
great.
there.
Hold it down, big bro.
Let me park the car real quick. Let me.
We got the
Oh Lordy.
the CEO versus the DMD for the TBS title. Who do we have?
Queen Stephanie.
Steph, I know you've been waiting to talk about this one. This
Yeah,
is one you're looking
like-
forward to. So
Let's
the floor is
let the
yours.
Queen go first. Yes.
Okay, so my prediction, is Mercedes Moné. I believe she's going to retain the title. Not even just because she's just so great in the ring, and just the trajectory of matches that she's had since she's joined AEW have been pretty good for the most part. I just feel like she definitely has more of a point to prove against Dr. Britt, who is, of course, the first female signee of AEW, and she is here to further solidify that. Like, Miss Ma'am really is an accomplished wrestler. So Dr. Baker has been doing her thing. She's a former champion and all the things, and she's gone on record and said multiple times that Mercedes is is one of her inspirations. So this is kind of a dream match for me because I've always imagined what would this be like. And their promo from this past Wednesday really solidified things for me and upped the ante. But I got to go with Mercedes because that's my girl, and I just don't want to see like the visual of her having both of the belts go away as of right now. Like, I just want Mercedes to keep it and just be, the one that everybody has to go through and prove that she can be the face of the whole women's division in AEW. So I'm predicting Mercedes.
Okay, got you down for Mercedes. Tech, who you got?
All right, Queen Steph, much love to you. You're really not gonna like me with what I'm about to say.
Ah,
First of all, okay, Mercedes Monet, what have you done? You showed up hurt. You're the CEO of what? What are you the CEO of? You're just here. Your music piped in. We like you. You was cool with Sasha Banks, but you haven't done anything in AEW. You have a name. You give your name. You got to show it. Give her some time. I like her, but the character doesn't add up. What are you the CEO of? It don't make sense. What are you? We never had an explanation of your character. CEO of what? Still don't know. But
so
I'm
I'm
gonna give
gonna
it but I'm gonna give it a win, mainly because of the whole suspension angle with Dr. Britt Baker and all the other stuff going on. Mercedes does need to win. Since she, as Queen Stuff says, she needs to solidify herself in the women's division. She does because Britt doesn't need the title. She doesn't need to win. She solidifies. So this gives something, as we said earlier with Jack Perry, just to say, hey, I defeated Britt Baker, who's the best. We gotta say that's the best women champion and woman that's in AEW since Day Zero, right? I think we all agree to that.
It's a lot of heel retentions. I'm just saying. I don't think
So I give it to Mercedes Monet, but I just want them to add more depth to her character. Because what are you the CEO of? What are you? We know you as Sasha Banks. We understood her character, the boss. She understood it, but I can't get behind you if I don't understand your character.
I'm going Mercedes on a retention. I don't really want her to retain. I'm not really sold on the gimmick. I think Camille is more of the fun factor for me. I'm a Camille guy. I'm an NWA fanatic from back in the day, so I've saw all 800 something days of Camille's one-time NWA Women's Championship reign. Her turning on Mercedes is going to be fun when that happens. You know what I'm saying? This is more so to give Camille the rub. Mercedes still doesn't feel natural. We'll get there when we get there. She still got more time as a champion of the mid card and for New Japan when she ever defends that strong title. I don't know. AO, you probably know better than I would when that title was going to be on the line. Who the fuck knows? It's just a good prop for now.
She's wrestling a Capital Collision, I believe.
There we
Yep,
go.
she is.
There we go. So
she is. Okay.
there's that title defense that'll happen. DMD don't need the belt right now. I think Jamie Hayter returns, although I heard through the grapevine that Hayter and DMD fell out. That's why they, you know what I'm saying,
Wow.
didn't rock out last year. So I still think that is what brings them back together because they need each other more than anything. I think Hayter needs DMD and DMD needs Hayter. So I think we will see Hayter return to, give her the odds and fight off Mercedes and Camille after Mercedes hits her horrendous looking finisher on DMD for the win. That finisher is terrible. Come on, Steph. You can't like that finisher. There's no way you like that finisher that she hits. You can't.
But I do.
You really like that finisher?
Oh, she's.
I do. Because of the idea of the first time we saw the finisher, I really believe that it's only awkward if the other person doesn't sell it as well. I don't think it's bad on the part of Mercedes.
It looks like she's like throwing a pillow on a bed.
Okay, that's your opinion. That's not okay. That's not necessarily my opinion. I feel like it's a lot of maybe it's kind of awkward in terms of the turn for certain wrestlers. I'm not entirely sure because I'm not a wrestler. I can't say how it should or should not work because I've never been in the ring before. I actually respected the fact that she had another finisher because at one point her finisher was just a submission.
I would
So
I'd have loved she kept the bank statement. Honestly, it was
I
a
mean,
fun.
but she did keep it because she does still do it, but that's just not her finisher, and that's perfectly fine. Also, to TEQ, I respect your opinion about Mercedes and, her winning and her possible, her basically retaining the title. But I will say this, her character as the CEO isn't that hard for me to grasp onto due to the idea that she has so many different ventures that she is probably ahead of in terms of her branding. So I think that's really what the CEO is. It's an evolution of her boss character, and she has so many different things that she's watching over in terms of her acting career, her wrestling career. She's like part owner of um a cannabis gummy
Yeah, she does a lot. Yeah.
company. So she does a lot. So I feel like that's really what the CEO company or branding is. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Saltine, who you got?
I'm gonna say Mercedes. She got something to win on this. This is her was it second, first title defense, third? One of
It's
them.
about, I believe, maybe her third or
I think
fourth,
it's the third.
maybe.
Third,
Yeah.
fourth.
She
Okay, third,
defends
fourth.
it on TV. Like
Yeah.
Okay.
she defends it.
Awesome. Okay.
To for,
So
it's defended. I
okay.
can't knock it. It ain't like the other titles that are around the Idiot World Order's waist. Like she
And we
defends it.
only see her. It ain't like the Bucks.
Yeah.
We only see her.
Yeah. So Mercedes sound good because she needs it. She need to make an example out of Britt Baker. She could say, "Yeah, I beat your best Britt Baker. Who else you got?" You know what I mean? And then possibly this is a way for JB Hater could come back out and say, "Hey, you haven't faced me yet." So that'd be interesting.
Hey yo,
I'm going Mercedes. I think it's again her title reign has some legs still. There's still some things to do. Her and Camille remind me of Sean and Diesel. At some point we're gonna get that Camille turn on Mercedes to break that up, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. And then DMD coming back and immediately winning that TBS championship. I'm not sure like
Yeah.
that's a little rush to me. So yeah, I'm going with the interesting thing to me about the TBS championship as compared to the world title is since Mercedes have it, this goes back to who has the belt, who makes it. Is the champion that makes the person that makes the championship or the championship that makes the person.
It
That
depends.
TBS title has been higher on the card since Mercedes came back than the world championship. It's been
Yeah,
closer
it
to the
depends.
main event
Yeah.
than Timeless Tony Storms. So I think like there's some heat there, pretty much, and I think at some point when she does lose, it's probably going to be because she's moving towards the world title division, and I don't think that she's done making this title yet. There's probably still some titles out there if you want to get on a championship title collector run with her. But yeah, like I think it'll be a good match. It's definitely an era versus era type of match. DMD came up
Yeah.
looking at Mercedes, so but yeah, I think
It,
she successfully retains this championship, and I think it's nothing more than they have a good back and forth, and when Camille actually does finally physically get involved, that's what the turning point is. That's what's going to be the deciding factor is the Camille factor, unless she gets thrown back to the back, but we'll
so
see.
what's the next money match for the women? Is it going to be Tony Storm against Mercedes?
That is the money match. I'm just not sure if you do that while the two of them are both champions.
Oh no,
Like,
no,
you know what I mean?
no.
Like I think like she does have to lose the title first because then we're talking unification and then it gets weird. So I think
Thunder
like
Rosa. I think we get Thunder Rosa Mercedes as some filler shit next.
we had somebody with like that's a really really fiery baby face, and I do think Thunder Rosa kind of fits that.
That is a good point because she's good. Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
fits
she
like
just finished
yeah.
like her really big
She's
feud that
been
she
going
had with
back and forth.
Deanna.
Yeah,
So
they've been I
Yeah.
feel like they've been battling in every type of match
Oh my
possible.
god.
They
And
carry
and
each
yeah.
other.
and that's a good point too. Is as Steph said, they can even bring Deanna back, and she could. Well, Deanna's a heel, so they won't work about her feuding with Mercedes Moné unless they switch Deanna face. But I was saying there's some possibilities they could, because Mercedes gonna need people to face. I mean, you got Statlander, you got
Yeah.
You got the inevitable
Don't sleep on
Willow
Athena.
rematch.
oh yeah, thing I keep
Don't
forgetting
don't
her.
don't
Yeah,
sleep on Athena. Now, I think she
Mhm.
loses that title by the way to Willow. Like I think this entire thing was at some point for Willow to get her lick back. But don't sleep on Athena because we're getting to the point where if she hasn't broken Samoa Joe's record yet, she's mighty close to being the longest reigning champ in Ring of Honor history, period, women or men. And then at some point, once she, clips that, she's on her way up. It's
Yeah.
been long enough. That Athena versus Mercedes
Oh
feud
yeah.
is gonna go.
Oh, that's gonna go hard.
Yeah,
That's
that's gonna
gonna
be
go.
big.
So
It'll be pretty fun.
yeah, that's around the corner.
And
But
let's
yeah,
remember, and it's not even for the world women's title.
but that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
this is a scenario where the person holding the title is making the
making the
title.
title. Right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this has been closer to the main event than Timeless Tony Storm for sure. One match left. Speaking
Main
of world
event.
championships, this is the world championship. This is Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson. Title versus career. If Danielson can't get it done, he's done. Retired, out of here. We already know that he's planning on not wrestling full time anymore, but if Swerve beats him, it's over. What do we have?
Some time.
Steph, let's start with you.
I would say this is really hard to predict as well, to be honest, because Swerve has been champion for a while, and for a minute online, a lot of people thought that his match in All In was going to look a different way with a different opponent, and it turned out to be this way with Brian, and now it's escalated to title versus career. It's really hard because I don't want to necessarily see Brian retire again because he's done this before and it was heartbreaking, but he bounced back. But it looks like if it's the end this time, then it's really over. So I don't know. It's really difficult because I don't want Swerve to lose either. Um, hmm. So I think I'm going to predict that maybe Swerve retains and Brian might have to sing his swan song for this one because he's given us a whole lot, even when we thought he wasn't going to give us anything else anymore. So if this is the end for him, then it'll be a heck of an end. So I'm predicting Swerve will retain.
Swerve retention. Got you.
Saltine.
I'm going to say Daniel Bryan for this one. Reason is we seen this before some at times that when it's your last match, that person has to win that match. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't, and I think it's a little too early for him to retire. But I think he could win it this time for All In. Maybe All Out lose it, or maybe not, or maybe hold on to it and maybe lose it at the end of the year and say, "Hey, I'm tired. I'm retiring probably." That's what I'm thinking. Like Wrestle Dream, and Wrestle Dream gonna be in Washington State, right in his hometown.
Right,
If he
right.
if he lose in his hometown, that would be like upsetting and say, "Damn, I lost the damn championship." That could have been like a song for him to retire. So it should be interesting though. But it's hard to even choose for this match. So Daniel Bryan though for me,
Tech, who you got?
I think Daniel Bryan.
I'm gonna say, and shout out to my man Swerve. We know Swerve for over about 10 years, and good guy. I seen him literally from the ground up, and see where he is now. We're proud of him. I'm gonna say Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. It makes sense long term. You think of it, you can always do the rematch. Bryan wins, he's champ. He doesn't have to wrestle every week, every month. Daniel Bryan wins. Swerve can get his rematch at All Out or a Grand Slam or what have you. Now you have Daniel Bryan win. Now his career is still intact. He already said publicly, "I'm not going to wrestle full time." Now that he went to the stipulation is now over with, he could lose to Swerve next month at All Out or lose to whoever. And then we still get Daniel Bryan doing, then he'll just be downloadable content for like the next year or so. He could just sprinkle in whatever pay per view you need. Swerve can always get a rematch. This Swerve title run has been good, even though I feel like they could have did more to present him as bigger. Still, the fact that he won the title and he's champ, I'm proud of him. So I got DB. Have him win it. He's champ. Confetti and all this stuff in my hometown. Now he ain't got to wrestle as much, and then we're gonna forget about it because he didn't really wrestle that much as it was before the stipulation. and then just have him wrestle again at All Out, rematch against Swerve or against whoever else, and then he can just keep trickling down as they need him.
I'm going Bryan Danielson. I think Swerve talks himself into losing that belt every time he gets on a mic. He's the king of run-on promos / wait. But one more thing. I'm going to tell you guys this. And it's just like, yo, dog, come on, man. Just fucking wrap it up, my nigga. Like, come on, man. So, like I said, every time Swerve touches the mic, I think it's over. Danielson wins. The family in attendance, like, that's just, it's like, come on, man. But Brian, the thing that makes me think Brian could lose is he's such a selfless guy that, like, he would be the guy to get his head kicked in front of his daughter and his wife, like, and be perfectly fine with it and be like, oh, off into the sunset he goes. But I just don't see it happening. I think Hangman Page is going to come to Brian Danielson's aid. Unabashed.
You know what? That's a good. That's we forget that. That's a great.
I think Hangman is coming to London to fuck shit up and not just being a casino gauntlet, but to make sure that Swerve does not make it out as world champion. I think that whether Hangman wins or loses the gauntlet, we get Hangman and Swerve it all out.
And Hell in a Cell.
You know what I'm saying? and then we get Danielson. We get Danielson Darby for the world title.
No.
First time ever at Arthur Ashe. And then we get a 3-way Washington fucking ball washing between Swerve, Darby, and Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dream, where Darby Allin becomes the world heavyweight champion of AEW, rightfully so there. I think that's just my net. If I had to take the next month and a half of predictions and booking, I'm going Darby Allin this whole run. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it. So Bryan Danielson tonight, Darby Allin forever. Ayo, what say you?
Darby Allin forever is hilarious.
But
like the scenario of Hangman Page definitely gets involved. Bryan Danielson, I could honestly see being the guy that absolutely wants to lose, but he's not. He's going to be a guy that's also said that he sees himself wrestling until he's in his 70s. It's just not going to be full time. He's going to wrestle forever.
He's going to be Mike Jackson. Not that Michael Jackson, but you know what I'm saying? The wrestler Mike Jackson.
Yeah, he's wrestling forever. So, he wins this title not only for all of the reasons that we talked about, but there's 55,000 people that bought tickets. And the last time there was a crowd anywhere near that comparison was 10 years ago when he won at WrestleMania 30. WrestleMania, and you get that vision of a full stadium throwing the yes chants up and the confetti. So they came to party, and ending Bryan Danielson's career in front of 55,000 people is not how you start a party. You know what I'm saying? That's just not how you do it. So they came here to party. They came here to celebrate. Bryan Danielson will definitely win that championship and party on, And again, like, Swerve doesn't lose a thing whatsoever by losing this match because he is solidified as a main eventer because of the run that he's had, And there's also the opportunity. The cool thing about Swerve and Hangman is that is like Punk and McIntyre levels of I don't like you and you don't like me, so let's battle it out. Has nothing to do with a title. At some point, as they continue on, there's going to be a title involved. But right now, we just need to let's just get to the shit.
Remember, Adam Cole wants Adam Page wants his revenge.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can see him costing somehow getting involved in this match and being the one that actually costs Swerve the title, and that's really the catalyst for them to do their thing at the next pay-per-view. All the thumbtacks and Legos and whatever else you want to slam somebody on. But bottom line, my answer for this, Bryan Danielson, I believe we all said him clean sweep, and that's how you end all in.
Hey, here's a wild card too, and I just thinking to see you guys think real quick. You gotta remember, Bryan wins, and I know my man CL was Darby Allin, which is cool. I can see
Darby forever.
You also got the wild card of we don't know Adam Cole what he's doing. You can always throw him.
Who?
Adam Cole.
That guy's dead. Word to MJF.
You got MJF. Did you
Said he's
also
dead, man.
who's to say what we all want to see one more time another Joe against Brian match? Joe, I mean, people forget Joe. He beat the shit out of everybody else. And then also too, and this is something I feel like this is bad on AEW. Why in the world is Okada even with the IWO, which you call them? If they put Okada on on a 2-3 month tear like he was in New Japan, and he beating everybody up, Okada should be in the world title picture.
Oh man, it feels like the convo me and AO had when he first showed up that
You got like why is
I had to
he?
succumb to that. I was like,
That's a
AO, take
wild
it away.
card. Why
Take it
why
away.
why is he even in this? People and real quick, I feel bad because I know people that know nothing about Okada, how great he was in New Japan. They just know him at AEW, and I'm like, dude, this dude ran New Japan for like 10, 12 years. This man was a beast, and he's in AEW, and sadly, the American fans that don't watch Japan, they like he's a lackey. Why?
He's the most entertaining part of this group. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but come on, man. Like he needs to be world title. I'm gonna beat you up, f you up.
He's too broken down. He's hobbled. He's too hobbled for that.
I don't like I think it's fine. I just, I get into these conversations often where this guy should be in the world title picture. So should he, so should he, so should he, so should he, so should he. So who actually loses?
Okada can lose. He be all right.
Let
He
him do
lost
his
before.
thing. He's got the Continental title. I think he gets busy once we get back to the Continental Classic
Him
tournament.
and Claudio are gonna have a banger, I think.
Oh, it's another one.
I'll
Yeah,
put it. I'll
Claudio.
put it this way. I'll put it this way. I really don't think it was an accident or just happenstance that Okada made it a point to say I'm the greatest tournament wrestler ever, and then highlight what he did with the G1 when we know that
Yeah,
he has the title that's the focal point of the Continental Classic.
that's a good
So for
point.
everybody that wants to see Okada be the Okada that you wanted, just wait a little bit.
Yeah,
Tournament's around the corner. He will get busy, and that's that. Done.
that's a good point. I forgot he did say that. So
Yeah, I don't think that's an accident. I think that's a clip that was said, and they're going to replay that ad nauseum by the time we get to the Continental Classic.
Long-term storytelling. You love to see it.
like ESPN, they're gonna show that clip like 80 times a day.
I mean,
Real quick. I know we're gonna wrap it up, but we also, just in case we have our tiebreakers, I'm gonna just throw out 2 5-pointers, and everyone just say the names. Don't need to go into breakdown for it.
Okay.
Our 5-pointers, just in case we do have tiebreakers. First one is our opening match. I'm going with the opening match being the TBS title. Is our opening match on my end. That is for me. Queen Steph, what is your opening match?
I would say, I guess, yeah, mine would be the TBS title as well.
TBS title. Tech, what is your opening match? 5 points.
Casino Gauntlet. Start the pay-per-view off hot.
So that's a good one. Saltine, who you got? Opening match.
Willow and Chris.
That's the pre-show. That's 0 hour.
The pre-show. Oh gosh. All right.
Yeah.
So that won't work. I'm going
that's
to
the open the doors match, bro.
The open the doors match.
That's when he's just
I'll
walking
say
in. It's like,
TBS.
oh, there's a match going on.
Get your nachos.
Yeah, TBS title.
TBS title. All right, TBS title. Saltine. AO, what's your opening match? 5 points.
MJF and Ospreay.
Whoa.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
That's
wow.
a big one.
This guy AO is
Yeah.
very bold. Very bold. All right. Last 5-pointer. Real easy. The Casino Gauntlet winner will be myself. I'm going to go ahead and say Hangman Adam Page. I could expect it to be pockets, but until Hangman showed up and said, I'm in it and I'm whooping everyone's ass, I think whether or not Swerve or Bryan Danielson win or lose, Bryan Danielson, Swerve, Hangman is going to get a world title match at All Out. No time wasted. Steph, who you got?
For the Casino Royale, I'm saying a debuting Ricochet.
Ricochet wins the gauntlet. Okay. Tech, who you got? It seems anyone's a part of this gauntlet, so you can just pick a name really from anyone on this roster.
I like your theory. I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm gonna say Adam Page.
Adam Page. Saltine, who you got?
Adam Page look like it. He said,
Adam Page, AO. Who you rolling with?
Tatanka.
See, Tatanka.
Nah, I'm going
AO.
Hangman, man.
All right.
Hangman Page.
Adam Page. Yeah, nobody thinks Pockets will win?
Nah.
Nah.
He could.
He could win. He legit could.
I
I
mean-
thought he was going to win until I seen Hangman on a tear. I was like, all right. Never mind.
That's why I think he wins this title to find his way. I mean, wins this gauntlet to find his way. Maybe after Swerve wins the title back. You know, like there's going to be a reason why the two of them lock back up again for a second match, and a world championship makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? So
I just think Orange Cassidy, for some reason, like, I see it being Hangman, but it's just for some reason I don't see Orange Cassidy going through the shit he's going through to enter number one in this gauntlet, to outlast who's got to outlast, to lose this shit. I think this is Pocket's way of getting to the world title. Like, this is his way to get to, like, the next step right here is Casino Gauntlet match, which could be Bryan Danielson, Orange Cassidy at All Out. Crazy enough.
And that's a good point, Steph. Ricochet, I feel, will debut in this match, but they're not going to do a TNA and have Ricochet just come back from WWE and
just win the Casino Gauntlet. That's a lot.
Just not TNA.
That is a lot, though. Bold. That's a lot.
Yeah, that'd be bold, but nah. But I do have him debuting because
I see highlights though. I see him putting up some highlights in that match though. I'll tell you that. Like, I think he'll shooting star press off something, bouncing off the ring ropes. Like, I think whatever spot he has is gonna be dope. So that's that, y'all. We appreciate y'all for pulling up. It's been a hell of an episode, predictions episode 101. Thank you to all the viewers, likers, subscribers, telling a friend to tell a friend. It's the almighty RSC. Everybody go around real quick and let them know where to find you at. Steph, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, like I said, thank you so much for having me on. You can find and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy, and on Twitter also at Hardy Wrestle Pod, and on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast.
Tech Saltine.
You can follow the show on X Twitter at Tech TECH_UTMR. Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, IG, as the kids say, under the Mats Radio.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at Saltine Moneymaker EH, and you can follow me on Instagram at Saltine the Moneymaker 05. I know my Instagram is so long, but it's cool.
Boy gave out a whole fucking barcode just now. Yeah, we here. I am Chad Law, CHADLAW, Young Godiva himself. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We got content for days alongside my boy, A.O. Baker.
Yes, sir. Make sure you follow the Signature Move Show. That is that's my solo show. What that show is basically about, it's one move, one guess, 5 questions, 8 bars in 7 minutes or less, and it drops whenever I actually record it. But I had a couple of good ones that just dropped. Peace to the good sir Scotland from Black Guy Wrestling Pod. Peace to my man Graham from Public Enemies, that was a guest on that as well. But you can find me everywhere at I am A.O. Baker. I'm everywhere across all the socials. Find me there. Signature Move Show. But right here, this is what we're talking about. It's the Ringside Club. 101 episodes of that thing. For the good sir Blaine Boogie, for my bro Chad Law, and our esteemed panel of guests. This has been 101.
We might see some of y'all next week for a title defense, a potential title defense, match in Berlin.
And I want
Will be tallied. The votes will be tallied. Numbers will be tallied. Tapped in on Sunday night. We'll be seeing y'all on the Twitter machines. We'll be chatting back and forth as the show goes live. I love the daytime pay-per-views. They're my favorite. Awesome. Get the day going. And continue on with your night. I love you.